pretty good hope for this. I think I'm bulkier now too. Alright, I'm gonna actually pull up the stream, see if I'm live. Live on camera. Oh! Gotta love hearing my own voice as soon as I pull up the stream. Alrighty, I've been mentioned. We'll see. Give me just a second, I'll be... So I was planning on doing 4 Kings. Just practicing 4 Kings, but I forgot that I haven't killed a Sif yet. So we're gonna be doing that tonight. I don't remember... I actually don't really even remember most of what I've done. Anyway. I see somebody's already joined. Talisman Sif, indeed. Yeah, I forgot about killing Sif altogether. Alrighty, let's see how rusty I am, shall we? Hello, yes, stream. Looking away because I'm wonderful. Yeah, it's gonna be a big thing, getting used to looking at chat again. Oh boy. Let's go back to default view, so. I have a feeling that Sif won't be so bad. They're one of the easier fights generally. But I don't really remember estimates of how long anything should take. I think probably quite a few hours still. I don't... How long did... I would probably compare it to about the same time that Quelaag took. A little longer, maybe. So we'll see. Oh, we get to see Sif's weak phase for, like, a long time. That'll be fun. I'm gonna mute my stream now so I don't have to hear myself. Anyway, so the only things you guys missed, because I did a couple of things when I was setting up the stream, I bought the Christ of Artorias, and then I repaired all my talismans. So not much. And then, depending on how long this takes, if it only takes like 2 hours, which I highly doubt, that would be over 2,000 hits every hour. Or that would be over 1,500 hits every hour. Yeah, I have no conscience, I know. But if somehow that happens, I'm going to practice 4 Kings, and I'll probably be practicing 4 Kings on my SL1 save file to try out Armor of Thorns, get practice with that. We'll see. I'm probably a little rusty. I haven't played Dark Souls 1 in pretty much since I killed ONS and then did a couple things Armor of Thorns, so it's been a few months. Granted, I've played other Souls-likes, so we'll see. Oh. Another thing I've thought about is getting Sanctus. That'd be huge. Especially for something like 4 Kings. This sort of fight, too, would be really good for Sanctus, just because she doesn't hit you very much. Hit, like, right off the bat, though. That's pretty bad. There we go. All the whiffs. Oh, look at that. You can already see the damage I've done. It's not that bad. Nice, nice. Well, welcome anyway. I don't recognize the name at least, but welcome nonetheless. So, I mentioned it, I don't know if you heard, Leo, but I have a good feeling about Sif, especially just because of how well I handled it fist only, even if I did take quite a bit of damage. I only had to use a few healing items, so especially with how much humanity or twin humanities I have, I should be able to pull this off. What is it? I'm trying to remember now even how many life portions there are too. I can't remember anymore. There's like 13 segments, and is it 5 per? So 65? That sounds right. So I'm close to 1/65th of the way done. I know I measured it that way with probably, if not ONS, other bosses for sure. God dang it, I thought that might have been you. I knew it, because when I said I didn't remember your name, I do remember you. Because you were talking about you were going through Sen's Fortress, and I did a bit of a guide through it, but you weren't even playing at the time. I remember you. Yeah. And I think I did that the last time you showed up too. I didn't remember you at the beginning either until you said something about Iron Golem. Just wonderful. I guess the name just doesn't stick out or something. Come on, Sif. I didn't even check how much my Estus heals me for. +4, I don't remember how much that means. You know, that's probably the one thing I'd have to change about Sif. If there was ever anything I'd have to change, it's the clipping that he can do, or that they can do with you. Their paws clipping you when they jump. That's the one thing that makes them annoying for flawlessing for sure, but otherwise it really doesn't matter. I would say it rarely comes into play. It's just 650. I had a feeling it might have been 650 for how much Estus heals me. Thanks. They're gonna whittle me to death at this rate. You know what I didn't do? I didn't equip the talisman in the first slot, so now I'm gonna be out of order. Which isn't a big deal, because it's not gonna take up too many, but... Oh, the whiffs. Oh yeah. I mean, my DPS is surprisingly good against Sif, I'm thinking right now. Jesus. Play Demon Souls. When did you play like recently played Demon Souls, or you've just played it all at all? Because first of all, I love Demon Souls, but yeah, you could definitely, you can really tell where the influences come in. I mean, there's just so much similar. It's a pretty solid game though, especially for it's got a lot of jank to it, but with that it's got a lot of charm, you know? It's one of those things. A game that I would love to go back and play. And luckily, I guess now with the PS5, I will have a chance to do that. Which I find pretty exciting. Alrighty. I remember when I first played Demon's Souls, it was after Dark Souls actually. I don't know how long after actually. Within at least a year I would say probably. It's going back and playing it afterwards, man, you really feel the similarities. But one of the big things that I'll say is that the bosses are a bit gimmicky at times. Outside of a handful that are actually just straight up fights, and pretty strong ones too. Flame Lurker being a really good fight, of course. Oh, Tower Knight. I remember loving Tower Knight. And they actually have brought back, effectively, Tower Knight's shield. In Dark Souls 2 and 3 they did it. I don't remember what it's called in Dark Souls 3. It's one that lowers your stamina regen, but it has the highest stability in the game. You find it in, right before Yorm, in a Mimic. Yeah, the Great Shield of Glory. Thank you. You don't like Flame Lurker? He's definitely a tense fight. The AoEs make him pretty tough at times. But you're given plenty of stuff to deal with him. He's really weak to magic. I guess you might not always know that, but plenty of ways to deal magic damage in that game. I think it's even in that level that they give you the ability to farm sticky white stuff. If not farm it, at least buy it. I know, right? Sticky white stuff, what a wonderful name. I'm glad they changed it to magic pine resin. Broken? No, they don't deflect. They actually don't bounce. They act like a normal weapon, they just have reduced damage. Halved damage? Yeah, it's halved damage, because at risk puts it at like 75% or something, I think. Something similar to that. Because RTSR would still let me hurt with a broken weapon, I think. Something like that. Oh, I looked away. That was a bad dodge. Didn't get hit at least, but man. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with Sif. I'm really easily able to land combos on them, it seems, so this one shouldn't be so bad. After we get the first bar down, we should figure out how long it took. That'll give me a rough estimate of how long the fight should take. Depending on how aggressive they are too, it'll just get that much easier. But fights like these ones, Sif, any of the stray demons, any of those guys, a lot of the less aggressive bosses, well, Sif is aggressive, but easy to dodge, makes me really want to use Sanctus in these fights, because the health regen would nullify any reason to use healing. I'm pretty sure I'd be able to out-heal anything they did. Not unless I just made a ton of mistakes back to back, but... Gotta reposition. They're doing that awkward walk where they can't reach you. How long do I think it's gonna take? At least 3 hours. And that's at 1,000 hits per hour. Like, for instance, something like ONS, which isn't really a very fair comparison in terms of time, but about double the health of Sif overall. It took 9 hours, so there's no way I could see it taking more than 4.5 hours. How about that? And it shouldn't take anywhere close to 4.5, I would think. Oh, what a dodge. Okay, well if you do this, then I won't be able to hit you. Yeah, it was not a very pretty fight. It took me 9 hours, and it was... I healed a lot, but I beat it, yeah. And that's actually what I'm prepping for, not ONS, I'm prepping for 4 Kings is actually what's happening, so... Hopefully, assuming I beat Sif tonight, I will be doing 4 Kings, or one attempt, at least, of 4 Kings come Wednesday. Yeah, I beat the whole game fist only. Worst one was probably 4 Kings. Longest one... 4 Kings was 3 hours, 15 minutes. Longest fight was Moonlight Butterfly, though. And you could call that one bad. It was a little... It was a little hectic because I did it within RTSR range the entire time. And by the second or third hour, their projectiles started disappearing. And they took 4 hours to beat. So 4 hours and 15 minutes is my second longest boss fight now, only behind ONS. ONS fist only I think might have been one of my worst fights too. They're always a tough fight though. And the longer you go for phase 1, the worse it gets. And if you're curious, I'm predicting somewhere around 24 to 28 hours for 4 Kings, and I think that's kind of being generous. 24 hours would require, on average, 6 hits a minute. 6 to 7 hits every minute. Which, I don't know how likely that would be. I guess I should heal. Yeah. I think we'll have plenty of Estus for this one, though. Just parry. Yeah, sure. We'll try that. I'm excited for, Manus. That's one that I really want to get done. I wish. I've still got to kill the Hydra, though. That's going to be a pain. One second, I'll have to check. I don't think I have. I was gonna ask, have I done Priscilla yet? I don't remember. No, I haven't. Okay. Which means I probably haven't done Stray Demon. Priscilla's gonna be another annoying one, because it'll be another invisible fight, so... But by the end of the fist only fight, I was feeling pretty good about it. Luckily it's only 1700 health or something. Yeah, I know. And now I'm probably actually going to do Hydra. Oh, I was so tempted to use fire bombs and stuff, but... Yeah, it's only with the Talisman. That's the whole idea. 1 damage at a time for every boss. The only boss that's not possible is Moonlight Butterfly because of that. So, 25 of 26 bosses will be killed in this run. I've probably killed like 6 or 7 if I had to bet. Gargoyles, Quelaag, Iron Golem. Capra, I know I've done. Gaping Dragon, I did. Okay, goodbye, Sif. ONS. So, it's a tough run. I thought it was, you know, kind of the next logical step after fist only. Something not too insane, it's just upping the time for each fight. Testing my literal endurance instead of my skill, I guess you could say, but I guess in some ways endurance is skill. I don't know. I know by the close to the halfway point on ONS, I was a bit out of it. Phase 1 was taking me for quite a ride. But I find it pretty fun, though, so I enjoy it. I have tried no roll a little bit. I did up to Iron Golem. Didn't really record much of it. It was SL1 stuff. I was using the hand axe. I didn't do pretty much any side bosses. I think I did Capper Demon, but I didn't do Gaping Dragon. But I did Quelaag no roll, and I did Gargoyles and Iron Golem. I think that's where I called it. It's pretty fun. And I need to... It would actually really help. That's the thing. Learning how to do no roll stuff purely just makes you better at the game. Alright, we are 1/13 of the way done with the fight. It's pretty good. I started streaming 20 minutes ago. That's not bad. Come on. There's actually I've done quite a few challenge runs in the game, but most of the stuff that I do is just playing through the game with different weapons outside of my endurance runs. And though I will say I did do SL1 with the Crystal Ring Shield. That was a really fun one. Wow, that was way too early of a roll. But it worked. Fair enough, yeah. Luckily I'm on fall break for Monday, Tuesday, so I actually have time to do something. And then Wednesday he already said the class wouldn't really be meeting, so... Oh my god. Yeah, that's the thing. Imagine not having visible health on these fights. They would probably feel like they're going on, like, you feel like you're making no progress. It definitely makes a big difference. No HUD is a run that I've never actually completed, but I've started. I thought it would be fun to do. Yeah. One thing that's... I've seen somebody else do no HUD, and one thing that's really nice is just the space you have on your screen. It's very open. That I deserve that one. Shadowbox Dolometer. Oh, I wish you had infinite time on that fight. I would do, if you had infinite night fight or time in some of those fights in Monster Hunter, I would love to do some of those endurance runs. Like the rusted weapons and stuff. It's there, I just can't. Well, good. How far are you in Dark Souls then? Or are you gonna start a new run? Ooh. How many attempts do these take? Usually no more than a couple, at least on Talisman only. I kind of make sure I'm well supplied, so that I hopefully don't have to try too many times. Like, for Four Kings, I really hope it doesn't take more than 1 or 2 attempts, because I've pretty much gotta take about a break between each, or a month break between each attempt, just because of how much free time it takes up. I think they do. I want to say they do in Monster Hunter 3. I don't remember for sure, though. I just remember Devil Joe showing up all the time at night in 3 Ultimate. God. No Roll Manus. The thing about No Roll Manus, he's one of the few bosses that I wouldn't look forward to. He's got RNG, and quite a bit of it. Especially, not necessarily so much for no roll. He's got quite a bit for no roll from what I understand, but it's no sprint that really makes him RNG. Working on getting it to fire. Nice. That was actually a weapon that I'd used in my first run of Fire Zweihander specifically. And specifically for one boss. Because it was just giving me too much trouble. Nito, surprisingly, was the boss that gave me a lot of trouble in my first playthrough. Yeah, the problem is, there's some of his attacks, like, I guess with sprinting you can outpace them better, but at least with no sprint, his staff into hand slam, the back and forth on that, those are complete RNG. And you really gotta outdistance him and say, I don't know the strategy as I've not done it really, so guess I can't say too much. Hey, that's good. First try in Gwyn. I remember, my first playthrough, it was really weird. Well, my first complete playthrough, because I played it at a friend's once before that he introduced me to the game. But my first complete playthrough, I used the Castis. Wait. Okay. I'm not doing 1 damage, right? No, I'm definitely not, actually. I know I'm not. You can't deal 1 damage without RTSR. But, I used a fire Castis for the run, except for Nito, because for some reason I just couldn't handle him with the Castis. Probably the skeletons. Oh, just looked away. Very good of me. Do I have a favorite weapon? There's a couple. Anything from the golem, the iron golem. Both the axe and the dragonbone fist are 2 of my favorites. Otherwise, that I'm not sure. But those 2 are up there, that's for sure. We're gonna heal. We're safe. We weren't safe. I thought she might do that attack, but I was thinking I might have been just out of range for it. Oh well. If I really have to, I do have humanities. If I need to dip into them, I'd rather not, but... Crystal Ring Shield's up there too. That's a weapon I really like now. Using it as a weapon, at least, I should say. It's just actually a really good weapon for SL1 too, for the most part. Oh, hello, Ornstein. Magic or miracles? I mean, honestly, in DS1, sorceries outpower pretty much everything. Well, no. The only thing they really don't is a Painting Guardian sword. Buffed with, like, Sunlight Blade or... probably Crystal Magic Weapon if you've got the right int or something, I don't remember. Dark Moon Blade, I think, is actually what it is because of the highest multiplier, 2.1 when at max Covenant rank. That just has the highest DPS in the game, straight up, but outside of that, I'm pretty sure sorceries have some of the highest single hit damage, whereas miracles are good, but they don't reach it. Magic's boring? Eh. It's just really about positioning, but yeah, you could say it's pretty boring. It's less interactive with the boss, I would usually say, even though you're still dodging and whatnot. At least if you're staying out of range. If you're right up next to the boss and shooting, I mean, good on you, I guess. Have I thought of doing Fist Only DS2? Sorry, I just saw that. I'm up to Ancient Dragon in Fist Only DS2. So, the only ring I'm not allowing, of course, is the Covenant ring that gives you fist damage. Yeah, the Champion Seal. That's the only ring that I'm not allowing in DS2. But I also am not a big fan of playing DS2, and the fist moveset is disgusting in that game compared to this. You might out damage, but you've got, I think, DPS as well. It hits hard, but so does Crystal Soul Spear. So Crystal Soul Spear also hits fast. And gets more, not more casts, actually, now that I think about it. That thing gets 5, but only costs 1 slot for Crystal Soul Spear. Yeah, pretty much. Speaking of challenge runs, I was going to mention this in the server since I see that quite a few of you are from the Dark Souls Switch server. There's a challenge thing going on in the Company of Champions server for Bloodborne. It just so happened to be doing what I was effectively going to be doing, but there's a bounty for $200 or $1,000 if you can pull it off, be one of the first 3 people to pull it off. Of course, it's not going to be easy, but basically it comes down to beating the entire DLC with every weapon in the game at the minimum stat requirement from Waste of Skin. And I was actually already working on something like that, where I was prepping a save file for New Game Plus, in New Game Plus, by the way. But I was prepping a New Game Plus save file to have every weapon already. So that's going to be a fun challenge run that I'm going to be working on. And it turns out I'm really bad at Bloodborne compared to... Like, I know very little about Bloodborne, all things considered. But I'm getting better. Nice whiffs. A wonderful whiff. Or lack thereof, I guess, because... Ooh, still got that one. Nice. Awkward positioning. Did you? Nice. Ooh. Man, that's another good game. Well, of course it's a good game, but Sekiro? I was working on some challenge runs in that too. Man, I love the combat in that game. Even if I very much so just prefer using just the item, or just your sword, no items or anything. This is gonna get me hurt, probably. No, it didn't. Man, it's hard to keep up. There's so much going on in the chat. I'm trying to focus and read chat. Working on all trophies. I don't remember. I think I platinumed... No, I didn't platinum Sekiro. I was working on it. And then I realized, oh, I have to farm and grind. And that's why you said grinding is slow. Okay, I gotcha. Please. Thank you, Sif. But yeah, if anybody's, besides the people that came from Company of Champions, if anybody's interested in challenge runs, you should definitely join that server. Obviously, I don't have a link right now, but it's a great server. Plus, you can show off there if you're actually good, unlike me. Well, like... Of course that's just being joking at myself, but I still have plenty to improve on every game that I play, especially Dark Souls. With how much endurance run I do, you'd think that I'd know the bosses better than I do. But I don't look up guides, so I never really looked into how to do a lot of the better dodges and stuff. Sif was... That reminds me, actually. Sif was one of the bosses that I tried on no roll. Sorry, that attack specifically reminded me of that, because that uppercut that she just did, that's the one thing that would kill me, and I don't know how to dodge it without rolling. Anyway. Yeah, I know. I'm being a little self-deprecating when I say that, but I should put it like this. There's so much more I want to learn about these games. For how much I play them. There's so much better I could get. Oh, positioning Sif, please. I wonder if phase 2 of this fight will actually be easier or not. I'm really bad about dodging phase 2 when she's all weak and stuff. Her moveset just becomes a little awkward. I mean, it'll definitely be easy, but... Exactly, Flawless Sif is such a pain with the way that she hops around. But, I mean, if you stick in front of her and punish attacks like that, then it's not so bad, I guess. But being in front of Sif is not always a place you want to be. Oh. Oh, I can't. I'm not looking at the screen while I'm swinging, I'm just trying to read chat. Makes it surprisingly hard to aim, it turns out. Yeah, honestly, I don't really care too much about the gender of Sif. I just know a lot of people call her she, so I call her she. And I get that it's because Sif is, what, the Norse goddess or something? A Norse goddess, I should say. Oh, God. Lock on eye. It is so rough in Dark Souls 1. Flip? No flip. Nice. That's a couple other things. I'm sure that if I actually brought different equipment into these fights, they'd be a little more consistent for how much damage I take. Stuff like, I don't use Darkwood Grain Ring. Can't really get it on this run anyway, even if I wanted to. Unless I kill somebody without using my talisman, which I've done. It's mainly about the bosses, really, for this run, but at the same time. Anyway, because you have to kick the guy off the ledge and clear, or fight him with a talisman, and that's not happening. Oh. Oh. I wonder if one of those staggers counts for bonus damage because I was in, like, instability or something. I don't... The only fight that I've ever used Sanctus for on the endurance runs, as far as I remember at least, is for Moonlight Butterfly. And I should probably allow it on the, if anything, the longer runs, like Talisman Only in general. But I don't know, I just try to avoid it, probably because I tried to get it on my own in Fist Only, and when I did that, I couldn't get the items after I kicked them off the edge. And then I didn't feel like I should have had it, so... Oh, that was such a bad roll on my part. Wonderful. Oh. No Roll Artorias seems really interesting. There was a clip, it was just a bit of a joke, but there was a dodge I found, not even a consistent dodge, but a dodge for Artorias using a Great Hammer for like his flip attack without rolling. And I think it just happened to be luck more than anything, but I thought it was pretty funny. Something about the way you move just barely put you out of range of it. Artorias is a really fun fight. Oh, that's another weapon that's a favorite of mine. The Tin Banishment Catalyst. Oh, I love that thing. 31 dex. You do pretty low damage, but it's a lot of fun. That's one of the first weapons that really got me into endurance fights. Yeah, I thought she was doing something else and started sprinting. If I should have held up block so I could have rolled better. I thought I was gonna jump was the thing. Anyway. This is what I mean though, because I could be... Besides the footsteps, I probably should have been or should be able to flawless this fight, honestly. But anyway, that's not a big deal. Yeah, Tin Banishment Catalyst for Artorias was a good 23 minutes. He's a really fun fight. And that was one of the first ones that really had me learning positioning for him. Just because it's such a slow weapon. You'd have to actually be... Well, you'd have to aim well with it, because you'd have to, like, do... Not 180s, but you'd have to turn quite a bit per attack, compared to where you're rolling to and whatnot. It really helped me learn a lot. How is Flawless Endurance? It's garbage. No, I rarely ever do Flawless, if it comes to endurance kills. Unless it's, like, smaller endurance... It depends on what endurance entails. If it's more than, and even still, I rarely flawless stuff. But if it's any more than like 20 minutes, I kind of throw the idea of flawless out the window. I don't know. Maybe that's a little low. Something like that, though. Oh, way too early. Looked away. I deserve to die for that, honestly. And you know, that's one thing that I've always wondered too, is how different would it be if I didn't stream this and try to like read chat and stuff? I know, right? Oh, also welcome, Silent. Oh god. Dude, flawless endurance? Hats off to anybody that can do that stuff. It's impressive. It's crazy. We're just gonna heal. I'm using a ton of Estus already. So we're probably gonna have to dip into my hundreds of humanity. Wow. But yeah, that was one thing I'm curious about is how different it would be if I'm not ever trying to read another screen, if I can focus 100%. I guess I could just ignore chat, but where's the fun in that, you know? I wonder how much of a difference it would make in my gameplay. Yeah, I started at 20. I've already used 7. It's pretty bad. Especially for only having gone 42 minutes. Probably 40 to 38 of that being in the fight. Some of it's come from clipping me, but not too much of it, I would say, because that only probably does like maybe 5 damage every time. 2 to 5 damage. I don't know what it actually does. Yeah, I think that's a big thing, though. Keeps me sane, reading something. Because I was going a little crazy there, even around the 5-hour mark on ONS, till I got back into it, really. Getting to Phase 2 helped. But, not having chat definitely makes it worse, I would think. I would say. I might be able to focus better, at least in the short term. But overall, I don't know. Well, thanks for stopping by, at least, Silent. Psychologically, it depends. Honestly, it depends on how I feel about the fight, too. Something like Moonlight Butterfly for 4 hours, it had me a little scared at times, but that was just because I was doing RTSR. Fist only, Moonlight Butterfly. But overall, I was very happy and excited about it. And I felt great throughout 90% of the fight, I would say. But then you look at something like Four Kings, and that was 3 hours of dread. 3 hours of dread and stress, and that one was kind of rough. There were times where I was scraping by in the fight, and it was Gets to you. And the other thing is, fights like Four Kings 2, you've got very little depth perception just because of how the arena is. You've got to know when you're running into the walls, because there are walls in the abyss, which is dumb, but makes sense, of course. So you've got to really be able to be. It's weird. You've got to be aware of your darkness, like your surroundings, even though it's all darkness, and it's a little taxing to have to pay attention to. But fights that are fun and I enjoy and whatnot, they're not bad psychologically. Which is funny that I say that because, oh, I was looking at chat there. It's funny that I say that because I'm prepping to go into like a 25-hour fight with Four Kings. So that's why I'm a little worried about that fight. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull it off first try, and if I don't, it'll probably be until November or December before I get another attempt. But I'm hoping that I'll at least learn a lot about how the fight's going to play out. Yeah. Well, okay, 24 hours is assuming that I can hit them quite literally 6.6 times every minute, which I don't think that's going to happen once Four Kings get on the screen. Once all Four Kings get on the screen. But if I can hit them, I think it's... Yeah, well, 3.3 would be a 2-day fight. I don't think I'm ready for a 2-day fight straight, honestly. I don't think most people are either. Okay, that's another good question. I love that you're asking these questions, by the way, Arachnophobe. Arachnoblade. Can't read because I'm... Anyway. It makes a big difference. You can actually look at my fist-only fights, especially Stray Demon. If you look at my... Not Stray Demon, Demon Fire Sage. I go into that fight, it's a 3-hour fight, I think. And with that fight, I am worn out going into it. It's like 2 a.m. when I started, but I was like, I may as well knock it out. And I did quite bad in a lot of places. I still beat it, of course, but had I been, you know, fully awake and slept well or something, you know, not done it at 2 a.m., it would have been way better off. So I guess it really does. You've really got to be aware of yourself. And honestly, I didn't prep for this fight going into it. I wasn't really thinking about it, so I don't have any water or anything with me. So I've got to do that at some point. Yeah, thank you. But and that's another thing about Four Kings. Figuring out. Well, water's not that bad because I've got like a mini fridge I can use because I'm going to be, well, near it at least, so I can get to water easily. But and then you got to think about food, you know, keeping that sort of stuff, nutrition. I mean, I know it's one day, but at the same time, you shouldn't be... You got to really be aware of that sort of stuff, you know? And then the dreaded question, you know, what am I supposed to do about the bathroom? And I'll worry about that myself. Yeah, it's stuff like that. You got to be really... I don't know. You gotta plan ahead, especially for fights that are really long. And that really wasn't something that I thought about when I was getting into endurance fights either, was just how taxing it can be on you. But it can be. Yeah, I've thought about doing stuff like that. I don't have clips of it because I did it on Switch, but I didn't do SL1 plus 0, but I did do base weapon level because I didn't want to use SL1 weapons. They're quite a bore at times, honestly. And I did plus 5, so not quite that extreme, but I did do a run like that. Favorite weapon in the series? Jeez. Let's see. Oh, we gotta actually swap weapons. I gotta remember how to swap weapons. 1 second, Sif. Give me something. Something good to swap on, thank you. There we go. But, favorite weapon in the series? There's a couple. Golem Axe for DS1. It's a tie between Golem Axe in DS1 and the Corvian Great Knife in DS3. That thing is just beautiful. I love that thing. Well, jeez. And I'm glad you can use it at SL1 with the right setup, at least. Like, if I had to choose a +0 weapon to do in Dark Souls 3, it would probably be that thing. That's gonna hurt. Yeah, exactly. Reinforced club, blacksmith giant hammer, hand axe. Like, what else are you gonna use? You can use, for +0 stuff, I guess technically, you could do something like Dark Hand, but I know that doesn't count anyway. Dark Hand wouldn't count, Jagged Ghost Blade doesn't count, I think. Tin Banishment, or Tin Crystallization, you can't use it, +0, stuff like that. I've looked into doing stuff for rolls on there, but I don't really do it for the rolls anyway. So, I'm not too worried about it. That's why I've been there for like, I don't know, half a year at least and don't have any rolls. Half a year plus, I think. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to read what you guys are saying. That's one of the things that we always joke, or that we've joked about before, though, is, you know, quite literally at one point since I want to say I've killed Gwendolyn. I had to have with this thing. You know, I've killed a god with a tissue. Pretty good stuff. That's another thing that's kind of interesting with low damage, at least in this game. You don't get any sort of staggers, really, and even if you do, you can't make much out of them, you know. Yeah, you're not wrong. We'll do that, and then she'll do like a spin or something. Yeah. Oh, so Jagged Ghost Blade is actually for +0. Yeah. That makes sense why people would like that, though. It's got bleed and it's a curved sword. I think you get 3 swings at base stamina, right? It's got decent damage. Or pretty good damage, too. Base damage. I know, right? Scary stuff to think about. I am staying like right on pace for damage, at least. And this is why you walk away when she circles you like that, so that she can reposition. Here we go. I'm actually going a little faster on this part, it seems, on this last segment. Yeah, not in the series. Favorite in the series is Gargoyles. Favorite in Dark Souls 3 is Curse Rotted Greatwood, yeah. I love it. It's very slow and cumbersome, and that's really... it feels very powerful for being so. I just wish it wasn't wasted on such a boss. Don't get me... well, okay. There's a lot of good Bloodborne music too, though, like Ludwig's music and stuff, but... it's not that it's a terrible fight, or a bad fight, it's just kind of bland. Curse Rotted Greatwood, that is. Especially, I think another big problem with it is just that it comes right after probably the worst area in the game, along with another really bad boss right before it, being Vort, of course. So it's just a big streak of things in a row that are bad, so you're already tainted in with everything else that you've dealt with. That's how I feel about it, because I don't like beginning Lothric, I don't like Vort, mainly his phase 2 has horrible hitboxes. I don't like the Undead Settlement. Not a fan of Road of Sac. So much of the early game of Dark Souls 3 I don't like, and I know that's a common complaint, but it's what turns me off from the game. And that's a big part of it too, because that's where you're supposed to sell your player on what the game is. Oh, I think he's bad, if only for the fact that his phase 2 exists. His whole body is a hitbox during that almost entire phase. It's garbage. I hate it. Especially since they could have just cleaned up the hitboxes some and it would have been good. And when you look at the hitboxes of other fights... Oh, I love Bed of Chaos. It's such a cool idea. And while it might have been a rushed boss and stuff, I love how consistent it is. It's amazing for just how bad Izalith is, how good that boss is. And I know a lot of people hate that boss, but man. And a lot of people say because it's a platformer in a Dark Souls game, but it's just good. You can learn the fight perfectly, and it really doesn't even take much to learn either. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The phase 2 charge, and then, yeah, I'm not a fan of Vort. I don't do a lot of Dark Souls 3 stuff, though, so... That should have hit me. Probably because I don't like the start of it. But, I'm so close to beating SL1 Broken Straight Sword. It's not much, especially since it's not like that's anything special in Dark Souls 3, but... Well, I should say I'm not really all that close because I've still got the DLCs, but... I'm almost done with the base game, just Nameless King and Soul of Cinder, I think. And then DLCs. Ooh. But it makes me realize, bosses in Dark Souls 3 until the DLCs, they don't get a lot of health. Like Vort maybe, yeah, but that's just because he's also got a lot of defense too. I mean, he takes very low damage no matter what, but you look at, I don't know, Wolnir, he's got 12,000 health, but in actuality he's got like 8 hits worth of health. Just due to how his boss fight works, because he's got weak points. Abyss Watchers have no health. Vort melts to Gold Pine, it's insane, and they give you like 4 or 3 right at the start of the game anyway. And you can buy one at least. Wow, that doesn't happen often. Then I get hit by the second part of that? Jeez, that positioning must have been real bad. I don't know, it just feels like bosses die too fast in Dark Souls 3 a lot of the time. Yeah, I know. Maybe it's just because I've skewed myself on... Well, no, you're right. I guess it's just NG. Bosses die fast. You're not wrong. And I guess even in Dark Souls 2 they do. It's really all about the setup, but... I guess my point was even at SL1 with the Broken Straight Sword, it was pretty fast to kill bosses. So that only makes me imagine just how much stronger you can be. Frida's a weird fight. I've never been good at her fight either, nor have I taken the time to try to learn it. Because I'm not good at it and don't really enjoy Dark Souls 3 enough to want to learn it. That's gonna hurt, yep. You know, I wanted to try Torch only, honestly, in New Game Plus after I beat the game with the Broken Straight Sword. How different would the Soldering Iron be compared to the Torch? I've got to say though, like, bosses like Dragon Slayer armor, as much as I don't like the idea that he's just another clone of Ornstein, even though he's different from Ornstein, I know. But his hitboxes are so clean. I wish his phase 2 weren't a little... I wish his phase 2 was different, but still... I don't know, I don't like the things that spawn orbs and lasers and stuff, but I still want a separate phase 2, I guess is what I'm getting at. Hey! Hungry Hyena's here. Welcome. I see. I know it's been a while since I've streamed, hasn't it? I've been uploading a few random things, but not much. You're witnessing me do pretty mediocre on this Sif fight. Yeah, I was actually gonna do, since you're here now, I forgot to kill Sif before prepping for Four Kings. Talisman only, so that's what I'm doing. Speaking of prepping for Talisman only, I don't have all the items I need for Four Kings yet. Yeah, it's back for like 2 days because the big thing is I'm just on fall break, so that's what really has given me the time. I mean, I've been doing other stuff. I've been working on Bloodborne and some Dark Souls 3, but I'm almost done with Dark Souls 3. I'm ready to drop it. I'll come back to it eventually, I know, but I'm ready to drop it for the time being. It's not bad, I'm just playing bad. How about that? But I am getting ahead of schedule with how aggressive I'm being right now. I think I'm still, yeah. Exactly. And that's the thing too, I have so many runs I want to try. On top of doing this run, which already alone takes up so much time, so any time that I know I have like days off that I could really manage. Like the thing is I don't have too much schoolwork to catch up on either, because it's fall break. Granted, I do still have a lab report to write about, well, other stuff. But it's less work than I've had recently, so I've actually got time to do something on this run, you know? I think the issue is that endurance fights are what call to me. Therefore, it's not easy to get a lot of them done. But speaking of endurance fights, one that I really love, and it's not even a full run because the rest of Sekiro I couldn't care less about, but just the Father Owl fight, I just want that fight over and over. It's such a good fight. But I don't remember if I actually completed it. I completed some version of it, but I need to go back and do it. I did Father Owl at base attack, no skills, no prosthetics, which means no Makiri either. So the only thing I have left to do on that, preferably, is base fit, base attack. No skills, no prosthetics, no arts, whatever, any of them. He's easily my favorite fight of Sekiro. As soon as I can, I'll find time to read what you guys have been saying. I know you guys are saying stuff, but man, I'm just getting such good damage off. Where's my cousins? All bosses speedrun? Oh wait, who's doing the all bosses speedrun? Because if it's distortions, unless it's actually just new runs of it. Distortion's newest one, at least the one that I saw that was world record. Man, that thing's impressive. Makes me want to try Dark Souls 2 again, even though every time I do that, I end up still not really liking it by the time I'm done with it. Oh right, no Kuro's Charm, that's what it was. I forgot about that. Hard mode, no Kuro's Charm. I don't remember if I was on hard mode. You see, the problem is I want to do all of that. No Kuro's Charm, hard mode, base bit, base attack, no, you know, every modifier, whatever. But I don't want to do the rest of the game. I don't care about the rest of the game. It means nothing to me. I just want to do that fight. It's like the only fight that really I like the other fights, but that one's just perfect. I can enjoy it, and I just can't enjoy it for long endurance runs. Like, I'm up to Ancient Dragon, I know, so that's pretty far, but I just don't have the same motivation as I would for something like Dark Souls 1. How about that? It's weird. Dark Souls 2 and 3 go back and forth as my least favorite Souls-like game. Souls game that I've played. Don't get me wrong, I still like them both, but I could go without them if I had to. That's about how I see it. Yeah, exactly. He got like 209 or something. Have I played? Oh, I love Demon's Souls. Yes. I wish I could play it again. Which is why PS5 is great. I played Demon's Souls after I played Dark Souls, though. Though at the time I was still very new to the idea of this even a Souls-like game. I mean, everybody was really. That was before Dark Souls 2 even was announced, I think. Should have been. Yeah, he is just a chore, especially when you're doing... Like, fist damage is decent. Okay, actually, I will say... Velstadt is actually just a great fight in Dark Souls 2. He really... His fight reminds me of the endurance fights that I want from a game that are like in Dark Souls 1. And I would love to go back and actually do him fist only. SL1 in G plus whatever, who cares? Any modifier with fist only. He's a great fight, but a lot of the fights I don't get that feeling. Najka's just easy, so she's one that I actually did fist only, new game plus, flawless, etc. No roll, I think? Maybe not flawless, but at least no roll, something like that. Just as like a one-off kill because she's that easy. I don't like that attack. It's rare to see that attack, even. Because positioning usually isn't good enough for that. I remember actually when I went to do some challenge runs in Sekiro. Sorry, I'm just getting clips of what you guys are saying, that's why I'm responding so randomly. I even got stuck back on Gyobu. I love his voice acting. How could you not love how he enters a fight? But that fight had me stuck for a really long time. In hard mode, no Kuro's Charm. We are actually like getting really far ahead of schedule if you would stop stalling. Please, Sif. Excuse me. You gonna hop over me again? Thank you. Jesus. Yeah, who? I'm gonna heal, but I'm gonna get hit for it, I'm sure. I dodged it. Exactly. That game really does leave a good impression on you. Oh. And it's very clean, the hitboxes and stuff are... Wow, that hit me. Hitboxes are generally clean. I like most of the fights in that game. Just none of them really call to me as something I really want to play through a lot. Another one that I really like, actually, is Corrupted Monk Ghost form. I don't like phase... Worm phase very much. It's for the other Corrupted Monk, that is. Really? Yeah, that's why I like it. I don't know. I think a lot of what made me really appreciate Sekiro was not using Makiri and stuff like that. No skills, no prosthetics, stuff like that. I love the timing and just how clean it feels to not use Makiri counters and whatnot. It's very good. No items. Which is why I'm excited for the update to come out later this month. That'll be nice to let me re-challenge bosses. That just means I need to do like one playthrough to actually get bosses ready and stuff. Genichiro is also really good, actually, yeah. He's another one that I really liked. Again, with the Makiri counters, or thrust attacks. I don't know, the timing feels really clean on him without Makiri. His patterns are fun, exactly, and that's why I like the bosses that I do, really. Though I will say Father Owl is actually kind of tough, but man, are his patterns fun. We're almost like 10 minutes ahead of schedule now. Almost. Like ahead of the average. Probably closer to 5 by the end of this bar, maybe. That's pretty good. No jump. Alright, remember, reposition so that they can. I wonder how much damage overall during this fight I'll have taken from chip damage. Yeah, that's what I was actually talking about when I said the update coming out later this month. I'm really excited just because it's adding a boss rush. That's gonna really help the game, I think, honestly. Come on. Oh, I know. There's actually a lot of Lord's Swords. What the? That looked really awkward. I think there's multiple. No, I'm thinking of just that one, yeah. The rest are long swords and bastard swords, I think. Bastard swords, I think. What level am I? 49? 50. So, like, pretty much on level, really. I was probably 40... Wow, just didn't roll that. I was probably 46 for ONS, somewhere around there. And then I leveled up after that. And that was pretty much where I left the game. I just leveled up. Like, I even remember the last stream I did of Talisman Only before this, I picked up straight up just at the bonfire after ONS. Please. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like you doing that, Sif. Not from that positioning. We're actually 7 minutes. Wonderful. That means we're shaving time with each bar, at least at this rate. Which, 13 into 3,400? That's not easy to do. Not off the top of my head. Well, it kind of is. It's like 28. 280 probably, maybe 270, somewhere around there. It's about how many hits it is per segment, and each one's 15 to 20 minutes long. That probably adds up. I'm not actually gonna do the math anymore. What? Did I mention you? I didn't think I mentioned you. 4/13th. Yeah. That's gonna hurt. 4/13ths, and then we gotta... I was doing the overall health per segment. Which is 3,423... somewhere around there. Divided by 13. Or if you really want, divided by 65, and then we could go from there. I don't know, it's one of those things I think about as I get into the fight, you know. Try to keep me on pace. I've been using too much Estus, that's for sure. So that's off pace, but my time is good. Favorite boss in the series? That's tough. Probably Gargoyles is up there. I wish 2 of their hitboxes were cleaner, but otherwise... Gargoyles from DS1, of course, not Belfry Gargoyles. Though the Belfry Gargoyles are... I like them. They're a fun fight. $243? You think so? Oh wait, no, that sounds right, actually. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because when I was first starting 20 minutes per section, that would put me at 260. And then I've cut off time now per section, so I could believe that. 4 hours. Plus, as I said, you know, about half the health of ONS, 4.5 hours is half of 9 hours. It all makes sense. ONS, I actually ended up averaging about 10 hits per hour, 10 hits per minute it was, and I think it's because of Phase 2, Smo just leaves himself so open that you can get a surprisingly high amount of hits in. He's just bulky. Especially since you can't do more than 1 damage. I think it was 10 hits per minute. At 9, yeah. Favorite boss lore? Unfortunately, I don't pay much attention to the lore anymore. To the point of it, me knowing very little of it. I'd have to think about that one. You know, Quelaag's another fight I enjoy. She's got high HP for how early she is into the game, but it's made up for the fact that you're given such good stuff too, for right around when you're reaching her. I honestly couldn't tell you the lore on 90% of the bosses in Dark Souls 1. Yeesh. I don't know, I think Quelaag's tells are all just so big, and her no-roll strats are a lot of fun, too. The only thing I don't like is that you can sometimes clip inside her if you dodge her wrong without rolling. You can, like, she'll thrust forward, and when she does that, you can get stuck inside her body. Which, if she does the AoE, is pretty much an insta-kill. Oh, that attack. That's only the second time we've seen that attack this fight. It's really not common. I mean, I know it's all positioning based for that one, honestly. As is, honestly, a lot of the stuff, so. Yeah, I don't think she's all that... I think she's a great starting point for no roll. Her and Iron Golem, too. Her strategies show you that it's sometimes good to be close to the boss, even in no roll. I don't know. And then Iron Golem shows really that you want to be free with your movements at the same time. Something like that. We'll say something. I don't know, but they're both not really all that tough, but they're very different in how you dodge them. Yeah, I would actually say it's quite untrue. It has a very big tail. One of the bigger tails for, well, probably her biggest tail in the fight. What doesn't have a big tail, besides the fact that it's only when you're behind her, is when she shakes the back of the spider. I think that's got a bit of a rough tail, but it also doesn't happen unless you're in a bad position, which is pretty much the tail for it. The kind of tails that I don't like are, Ornstein's got one of them actually, funny enough, is the lack of a tail. Being the tail. It's, you know, they're doing nothing, therefore that kind of tells you what they're doing. Actually, a great example of this comes from Monster Hunter, even. There's a monster called Jan Garuga, where one of the few things that people really complain about is that he has instant charges, and, well, you should know, nobody ever likes instant charges anyway, but it comes down to him. You can tell that he's gonna do it because he positions to face you, but that's his only tell. But then you've got something like Osiris in Dark Souls 3. He's got instant charges too, you know? Except for the fact that there are a few tells for it. You just have to be aware of what he's doing. It's stuff like that. The lack of a tell is just a weird tell for me. It's something that you just, I guess, get used to based on the boss, but... Whiffs! Whiffs! Nice. Yeah, but at the same time, a lot of his dodges are pretty tight. They're actually not that bad. I don't like his Phase 1 very much, but that's just because his movements are awkward. In Phase 2, they're all very pronounced, and it's pretty obvious what he's gonna do. Unless I'm unaware of one of his instant charges, they usually aren't straight up just what he leads with. There might be one case, but otherwise it's pretty easy to tell when he's going to do them. Osiris is just a furry. Pretty sure he'd be, oh yeah. Yeah, exactly, that's what I was going to say. You know what boss I don't like for no roll very much is, and I think this kind of just goes in general. I mean, I like him as a boss, honestly, but he's kind of basic, which is... Anyway, Capra Demon. I don't like him for no roll, if only for the fact that the two dogs are there, and if you're doing no roll, you kind of want to do flawless. And that first dodge can be a little iffy, and it really just comes down to that first dodge. Flipped again. What? I forgot about that. That's right. I went around, I actually ended up... I forgot that's a thing. That's actually the strategy for Nito most of the time now for me. I completely forgot that they don't really aggro if you do that. Because there is another dodge that you can do with the jump. If he leads with the jump attack, you can run counterclockwise around him, and then to the staircase, and kind of just pray that the dogs don't hit you. I completely forgot. Yeah, you can tell by their terrible hitboxes and bad moveset. Yeah, I know that they're supposed to be blind, but I don't like the way that they move still. And the way that they swing, it's just a pain. I don't know, I think if it were done not in Dark Souls 2, it could have been better. Just, I don't know, the way that they move feels really awkward. Mainly it's their side swipe that they do, their two-hit side swipe. Back and forth if you're approaching them from their sword arm side. Just the sword ones. The other ones are all just bad because they're way too strong. And their moveset is a mess. Like the spear one and Scholar, right before the Drake. That thing is a mess. The way he moves. It could also be, yeah, you're probably right about that. Well, okay, the sword ones, they aren't bad, I just don't like their side-to-side slash. Mainly, I just like parrying them. Parrying them is pretty satisfying, but, I don't like the spear one, though. I will just say that. Ooh. Yeah, I've not done SL1 Dark Souls 2. Is it? I feel like it... If anything, it would be worth it just to learn the no-roll strats, right? For a lot of the bosses? Just because you've already got low iframes? I mean, you can iframe stuff still, but you've got pretty low iframes. So you could make good use of no-roll strats in general. I will say that is one thing that I noticed. Dark Souls 2 is probably one of the cleaner games for no-roll. I don't know, for having bad hitboxes, there's a lot of bosses that are pretty strong for... or that are pretty fun for how no-roll works. Dark Souls 1 is too, honestly, and so is Dark Souls 3 with some of them that I tried, but I feel like it really stands out in Dark Souls 2. Man. I don't know, maybe it's just that the game's slower, so maybe I just feel like that's what it should be. I'll take the hit, whatever. Man, now you're almost making me want to return to Dark Souls 2. Well, that's a scary thought. Like, I would love to return to vanilla Dark Souls 2, honestly. Funny enough, I really prefer not integrating the DLC keys into the maps. It makes them so much... It's just convenience. I like convenience more than I care about the lore of where the items are. Endurance Surlon. I'm not good at the Surlon fight yet. But maybe at some point I will go back to that game. Well, I plan to. I would love to do fist only every game in Dark Souls or Souls games. So maybe at some point I'd return to that. I'd say chime only, but isn't there actually a chime that does decent damage? Like pretty good damage or something? Because I know they get multi-damage types. They're just kind of slow. Oh, I thought I rolled that. I looked away. That's gonna hurt, yep. That's gonna hurt too. Well, never mind, they did 2 hops. Yeah, I'm way behind on Estus this time, but I'm probably just gonna brute force my way through this fight, unfortunately, because I can. And I don't have all the time that I want, so I would actually like to try 4 Kings on Wednesday instead of coming back and doing Sif and like 2 other bosses or 1 other boss. It does have the lowest. DS1, the thing is DS2 and DS3 fists, they scale. Though I guess in DS2's favor of being harder still, your damage stops scaling really badly by the end because, of course, I think your cap by the end game is like 14 damage. Something like that. Which, while that is, you know, 3.5 times stronger than Dark Souls 1, the enemies are tankier. It's a little less polished. I don't know, it's weird to say it's less polished just because there's a lot of jank in Dark Souls 1, but I'd say it is still. Anyway. You've got a clunkier moveset, that's for sure. Your downtime on attacks is god-awful. I can understand it being your least favorite. I know a lot of people especially don't like Dark Souls 1 for speedrunning. Well, I guess now the speedrun is 30 minutes. 29, I think, is the Catalyst's world record. I think it's world record. Anyway, Dark Souls 1 speedrun keeps getting faster, but it's a lot of just running around, so people don't like it as a speedrun. And I can understand not liking it as a challenge run either, I think. Though it's definitely my favorite to do fights in. Bloodborne's probably second. Bloodborne's just clean and it makes good use of the speed, unlike Dark Souls 3. Though I think I want to do a Corvian Great Knife +0 New Game Plus run if I do one at SL1. I think that's what I would choose. It's a very fun weapon. Yeah, but the problem with Mundane is it's such a boring build. I guess that's why it's the Mundane Infusion, but I don't know. Being a generalist doesn't appeal to me, especially in that sense. You're underpowered in every category just to get slightly above average damage. Though maybe at SL1 it's good for some weapons, now that I think about it. I haven't done much Bloodborne challenge running, but I've started my Blood Level 4 stuff. I actually funny enough, right before, the day before they talked about the now $200 bounty for Bloodborne, I had decided that I was going to start collecting every weapon for New Game Plus to do challenge runs in New Game Plus. And then they just so happened to... Oh yeah, Ladle, that's a good point. They just so happened to place a bounty like the next day that was basically what I was doing for free. So I'm still gonna attempt it at least. Probably won't win, but you never know. It's gonna take a long time for everybody, so I have plenty of chances. You know, that is one thing I thought that I would get bored of with challenge runs. Wow. Is the music? I totally don't really get all that tired of it. I like it still. Frame rate? Is it? I think I might have I don't know, I might have seen some of that in the Covenant, or Company of Champions. Now that I think about it, because I thought that I'd seen your name once you mentioned that you were from there. I thought that name sounded familiar. But... whoa, that just phased right through me. That should have been a hit if you ask me. You see, stuff like that, that would have been a hit in Dark Souls 2 for sure if, if this had Dark Souls 2 hitboxes, and probably even could have been one in Dark Souls 3. It does. Look at Soul of Cinder. Look at, I don't know. Soul of Cinder is just a great example, because he's got some really good ones, but then he's got garbage ones. Vort has bad hitboxes. Lingering hitboxes, but I don't think they're technically bad from, Abyss Watchers. They're just lingering because they've got fire in Phase 2, which is garbage. Ancient Wyvern, but why would you ever fight that thing on foot anyway? You're supposed to drop attack it. But overall, it has a very... look at Dragon Slayer armor. He's got such polished hitboxes. I'd say Dancer has good hitboxes, but that fight just looks like a mess to me, even when I do understand it. But I think it's got good hitboxes. Good. Good weapon swap. I think they have, the thing is, I think they have good hitboxes. I just think they've also got lingering hitboxes. Okay, I hate the Abyss Watchers fight only for the fact that they made them throw up so much dust the entire time. Half the attacks that hit the ground leave dust that lasts for 10 seconds just to obscure your vision, which is, I just find annoying and don't enjoy. Even if you can tell what's going on, I don't like it. Oh, Gundyr has beautiful hitboxes. I wish I got better at the champion Gundyr fight before I beat it. Phase 2, on my SL1 run, Broken Straight Sword, I haven't uploaded the video, I don't think, but I ended the fight having no Estus and 9 HP left. I was doing horrible, but Phase 2 is just so tough for me to read still. Phase 1 I love, and it's really fun to no-roll. Those two are very clean. Oh, I've noticed barrels there. I didn't think they were explosive. That's cool. How much? Well, it's got to do good damage. I guess the problem is they if anything, they break during Phase 1 before they use fire damage or something. So you'd have to break them yourself. That's gonna hurt. Yep. Are they? I haven't tried no-roll watchers. I get too annoyed when I'm fighting them, even though, well, I'm pretty laid back 99% of the time. But I have no patience for them. I just don't have much patience for Dark Souls 3. Not compared to Dark Souls 1, or... I don't know. I'd be happier to say don't do it than unlike in Dark Souls 1. You know, it's one of those things. I just have a preference. Well, keep getting better at the game. That's the big thing too, though. You say you're pretty good, but then, don't get me wrong, you're probably alright at the fight, but there's plenty more to learn, you know? And that's what I love about these games, you know? You don't ever have to settle for being okay or even good at a fight. You can always improve. False. Yeah, I probably do, actually. Thanks, by the way. That charge attack, though, I guess really, if you're not parrying, then you just want to outrange it. But if you are parrying, then you can counter it pretty easily. As long as you're ready for it, thanks. Oh. Yeah, it is. Exactly, and that's how I look at a lot of runs too. And that was one of the reasons why I was starting the Bloodborne stuff too, was I thought, you know, I'd finally started my Blood level 4 run. Why not just work on collecting all the weapons and then learning stuff with everything? Seeing what I can do. Even if it isn't at base level, or Blood level 4, there's still interesting stuff you can do. I still want to do a Fist of Gratia run, or Gratia, however you say it. That's a run that I would love to do in New Game Plus. Leveling, of course. I would like some damage at least. I don't know, and I guess that's just a mentality you have to go in with these games. Even when you think you're good at the game, and there's... I don't know. Basically, there's a big skills ceiling. Who would have guessed? Oh, Pontiff is so fun to no-roll. He's got such clean hitboxes, and he's so oppressive when you first fight him, when you're first learning him and stuff, but then you realize he's got a lot of diagonal slashes, and while he's got a lot of roll catches, circle strafing works surprisingly well. And then you realize it's a lot of his moveset leaves him open just because of how much he attacks, and yeah. He's great. He's another good fight. He was a fight I didn't like for the longest time just because I think it, well, there's a lot of fights I didn't like just because I was bad at them, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. You don't tend to enjoy something if it's not going your way. I don't know. I don't, at least. Pontiff is fun, and Phase 2 is surprisingly not that bad. I didn't do all of it no roll, I still rolled, but his Phase 2, it has very clear punishes, how about that? So when he does multiple jumps like this, but like say like you dodge one as he's landing on you, but he's doing another jump where he's moving out of the way so it's gonna hit. Am I just rolling wrong for that? Should I just go to a different spot, I guess? Maybe not just roll forward, roll some other position so he's not on top of me, I guess, is really what I should be doing. That's bad. Yeah, that was really bad. Who cares if you're super self-conscious about being called bad at a game? Hey, you gotta be... Yeah, exactly, I can't die. Actually, that's death. Oh my god, I should have died there. I rolled just out of no reason. And should have died to that spin attack. Little too focused. Yeah, as you can tell, neither did I. But Ornstein, you gotta imagine, well, first of all, everybody starts somewhere. If you're bad at a game, who cares? Somebody else was bad at that game too, oh boy. You shouldn't be self-conscious about it. There's no point in it. You're only gonna get better if you keep trying. To a degree. As long as you're willingly trying and, you know. Being called bad at something shouldn't be something that stops you. How about that? But again, I know you can't. I can't just say that because I'm not everybody. People are going to have their reasons, even if they are self-conscious. That's a pretty valid reason. Did him flawlessly. I would imagine if you, maybe if you space my strategy for him when I was doing no roll, at least attempting no roll SL1, flawless attempts. I didn't stay underneath him at all. I purely stayed ahead of him and then just basically punished the head slam until I realized his uppercut is like undodgeable there. It's probably not, but I'm not able to dodge it. And that's fine. And you, of course, nobody can make you stream it anyway. If you don't want to, of course, don't. But I'm under the impression of everybody at least should try streaming. Maybe not everybody, but you know, if you've thought about it even in the slightest, you should give it a shot. I find it loads of fun, even though generally I'm not one to talk much or do much of anything. You know, I'm not a very social person, but it's very different streaming. Plus, even if you are bad at something, people enjoy that. It's just, whatever, though. We're almost to the halfway point, everybody. Look at that. Jeez. That's pretty awesome. All the whiffs. Oh, I tried to... almost started sprinting there. Jeez. I will say, for Sif, it is nice not having poise. That's one thing that I've always told people. Poise is bad for this fight. Even if you're planning on going flawless. I guess if you're going flawless, it doesn't matter, because if you get hit, then you're gonna restart. But if you're not going for flawless, poise just makes it worse. This fight, everything she does, if it hits you besides her stomps, will knock you over. Unless you have poise, in which case stuff like the spin can double hit and stuff like that, which you won't easily live at almost any vitality. Just because you get hit by instability, which is 40% bonus damage. Alrighty. Well, hey, thanks for sticking around long enough. That's almost 2 hours worth of stream you stuck around for. Hopefully you enjoyed. It's nice having somebody to chat to, so this was fun. That was not actually really a safe heal, I think. Yeah, I guess you want to end up on the outside of the legs like that, but I don't know the actual positioning for that. If there is a way to truly predict that. Oh, that didn't hit, okay. That's fine. Hang as long as you want, but I should probably end it after the Sif kill, but I don't know. This makes me want to play more Dark Souls. You know that feeling of just enjoying something so much that... Anyway. So I might hop over to Four Kings for a bit to learn some dodges, because I'm going to need practice. We'll see. Oh, you should definitely go to bed then. This is not as important as that. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I don't know, a sense of, you know, you see something like that where it's flawless and it's so perfect and you're like, man, I would never be able to, and then you just work at it. Exactly, and then you see that sort of stuff and you're like, wow. I'm still waiting for somebody else to do fist only in Dark Souls 1. Without tumble buff. Of course. That'll be the day. I'm excited for that to happen. Because the thing is, when that happens, they're almost definitely going to have done it better than I did. And that's exciting to me. I know, you should. I mean, I would love to go back and do it again, honestly. Just better. I'd love to do it at SL1, but that's a big ask for something like Four Kings, especially. Nice one. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it probably just... Well, no, it just wasn't a thing that they really considered, I would say. Well... That would have been interesting, too, if doing the DLC early cut out Sif, instead of just making it a different cutscene. I think I would be opposed to ever doing that then, but at the same time, I think it'd be interesting. And I could see it making sense, too, just from the fact that Sif already recognizes you and whatnot, so... It would just mean that I would never do that in the DLC. No matter how cool it would be. Granted, I never see the cutscene anyway, the other cutscene, because I don't do the DLC before Sif, usually. Mainly because it involves killing the Hydra, and I'm lazy. I don't like the Hydra. Because I would gladly go do Artorias first. And the other thing is, I guess I actually have to summon... do you have to... You don't have to summon Sif for the cutscene, you just have to save him, right? Alright, we gotta reposition. So you can reposition. I think I've gotten most of the rust off too. I've used up way less Estus as the fight's gone on. I remember when I used to be horrible at this game, and that was like not even all that long ago, it feels to me, even though I guess it has been a couple years even. But I used to face tank Manus and just hope that Sif would carry me too, and man, oh how times have changed. Yeah, I was trying to sprint, I was trying to roll because I thought they were going to do the spin, and then they didn't, and I wasn't ready, so I was starting a sprint. Again, that's why I need to hold block when I'm not actually attacking. Wow, that was dangerous. We're gonna go ahead and use our last Estus, unfortunately. This looks like almost halfway done. At this rate, it'll be right at the pretty much 4-hour mark, it seems, for this fight. That's pretty good. Yeah, phase 2 too, good point. That'll, God, it must sound like I'm just making up points in my head or something whenever I chime in like that. I've got somebody over here with me, but, anyway. Phase 2 will probably cut down that little bit of time. It might cut off an extra 10 minutes, maybe. One thing I found really interesting doing fist only and talisman only. I haven't done it with no parry. I should do it no parry. But I wanted that run over with, kinda. Gwyn's a weird fight. He's so aggressive. I haven't actually learned him really outside of parrying, so. But parrying makes them extremely easy. At least if you know what you're doing. Please. I guess I should set some other healing item or something. Yeah, I know you can stagger loop with the club, right? Because he staggers in 3 hits, I believe. So you do 3 and then you stagger your hits, so you do 2 and then you wait for him to recover from his stagger. So on and so forth, right? So you can get like 2 or 3 chains in a row and then go back, wait for an opening and start over. Something like that. I don't think so on... Well, you can't stagger loop him on fist, that's for sure. But he still staggers pretty easily with fists. Fists have a weird amount of poise damage, because it's less than the actual fist weapons. But I still got a good number of staggers off on him. We're just gonna roll twice, but I don't think I needed to. It's funny, recently I've been saving Asylum Demon for the last boss fight of the runs just because I can't usually get the gear in NG. So I just do NG plus Asylum Demon. Oh, really? That's cool. Maybe I'm just bad with stamina management. Or maybe it's because I don't usually use Grass Crest or Chloranthy. I'm using them this run, but that's just because I have them. I don't ever grab Chloranthy Ring because I don't like the Great Hollow. And I grab Grass Crest, but I usually don't use it. It's a good shield, of course. Ah, Green Blossom too, good point. That's plus 20 stam regen. Whiffs! Alrighty. We're probably down close to our next talisman, I would have to say, just from feeling the time I've been using this one. That was another way I started measuring bosses, was the number of talismans used, because it's, you can count out exactly how many you'll need, because it's not like you're going to use durability any other way besides hitting. And you know exactly, it's 9 hits per point of durability in this game, if you didn't know. So... there we go, look at that. I know, right? So then you've got and then you know it's 30% durability is when you hit at risk, and that since I don't do damage at risk, we know it's 35 times 9 for how many hits I get per talisman. And so I have enough talismans for every boss in the game. I have more than enough, actually. I was counting on the way right before I started the stream. I have like 60, which is like 80,000 hits, or 18,000 hits. God, it's funny how meaty this weapon sounds just because they use a generic hit sound for everything. We're over halfway done, though. Look at that. Excuse me, Sif. And then, you know, it's stuff like this right here that makes me think, you know, man, if only I did have Sanctus. I probably wouldn't be using, like, any Estus. And that's... I don't know, when you've got so much free time when you're fighting bosses, you think about stuff like this, where it's like, man, over the course of the fight, if I'm averaging, like, say the 9-hour fight, if I had Sanctus, Imagine just how much health that technically heals, even if you're at full health, but over 9 hours, that's a ton of health. I need to Taurus Demon. I didn't kill the archers. Stray Demon. Oh! Okay, can I just say I hate Taurus Demon? I don't like his hitboxes and his tracking. He's a pain. And then Stray Demon's just boring. I mean, he's fine though. Not a bad fight by any means. And at least for no roll, that's got to be pretty... Well, no, I was going to say how do you do the beginning, but you just toggle, I'm sure. Toggle the fall damage and then just run behind him and you're set. Something to that effect, at least. Taurus Demon you can kind of just stagger down though, especially if you've got something like the Reinforced Club. I don't know if you use items, but of course Gold Pine, you know, melts him, so that would have to be not so bad still. Dang, Sif, look at these clips. So many of them. Do it for 24 hours, because I think I might grab Sanctus for 4 kings. Do it for 24 hours. Yeah, it's effectively 1 HP per second. So, well no, I know that one actually. That's 86,400. I know that one like the back of my hand. That's 86,000 now. That's plenty of health, look at that. Compared to what, my 1,700? Okay, so then that's what we would really have to know. How many full life bars worth of health is that? And then you gotta think, that's what, 4, 5? Yeah, that'd be right at pretty much 5. So 50 health bars worth of health. 86,400 divided by 17, what, 46? 86, yeah. Thank you. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Well, it's effectively 1 HP per second then, isn't it? Which would be how many seconds are in a day. Which is 86,400. Yeah, so... I already did the divided by 2, thank you by the way. Actually, we'll wait for a spin attack, then I'm gonna take a drink of water. Oh, this isn't good. Haven't put my water down yet. There we go. I kinda need my circle button, you know that? That's bad. That was a bad dodge. I don't know, it's just crazy to think how much Sanctus could make a difference. So, my point is really, I'm not using optimal gear. I mean, if I wanted optimal gear, I'd go for highest defense to weight value. That's also giving me light roll, etc. With Sanctus, I'd have to account for like the 1 pound of 0.6 weight, I should say, of the 2 talismans. I could optimize a lot. I just don't care. And I'm sure I'm good enough. Okay, hops again. Dang it. Yeah, exactly. I was using it for RTSR range on Moonlight Butterfly, and luckily, with my defense setup, Moonlight Butterfly couldn't one-shot me in RTSR range from max RTSR health in fist only. Had I had maybe like, technically I guess 200 less health because 50 less for RTSR, 200 less health, I probably would have been in a lot more trouble. Yeah. I did a hyper mode, I did 2 hyper mode, no I did 1. And I made sure to pick a bad weapon. I did the Great Sword of Artorias. Because I was curious how it would go down. Does this work? Or am I dead? Oh, what a whiff. I also should have been using the Canvas Talisman for that. Because the Canvas Talisman heals more, but... I did, but it doesn't lose magic adjust when broken. That's gonna hurt, yeah, I deserve that one. And there goes that heal. This is why heal is worthless, by the way. It heals so little. I'd be better off just using a humanity. Alrighty. 6 bars left. Look at that. 6 bars, which means... Dang, it only says 2 hours ago. It stopped ticking by the minutes on my stream delay, or my stream stuff, so I can't see my exact time, but definitely ahead. We should go ahead and use one of these, though. Oh, what an interrupt. Yeah, thanks. You give me plenty of time to heal. See, I'm trying not to dip into humanities too much, though. I'm thinking... I mean, at worst, 10 more humanities, but I don't even think it'll be that many. That's like if I get... Jeez, yeah. Alrighty. I'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out, at least. I was expecting, since it was like 10 PM when I started this, my time, I wasn't expecting too much. I know time zones exist and whatnot, but still. Wasn't expecting too many to stop by. What a clip. Central Standard. Yeah, we've been over this, haven't we? I live in Tennessee. I mean, that's about all I'll say, but yeah. To be fair, though, I guess there are multiple time zones in Tennessee. Ugh. Oh. Stop. Please. Yeah, I know. We've been over this. I thought we'd been over this before, at least. So one thing, he is for now, as far as I'm aware, yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of people in Tennessee, a lot being 3, but a lot of people in Tennessee. Nice. You know, honestly, this is... So, for 4 kings, I'm planning on having 99 of every healing item besides Estus, of course, but... Which I know seems really cheeky and cheesy, but... Oh, what a 6-hit combo. Impressive. That's making me try to think how high my combo got on ONS. It was pretty high. Anyway, so... Excluding Estus, that gives me about... I've got to land about 24 hits and heal, by the way. I'm not going to be using heal in the 4 Kings fight. I'm not going to... There's no time. But, I've got to land about 24 hits every time I have to heal. And don't forget, like, all of the other healing items are full heals, so... No, it's not 99, it's 396. 99 of all 4 healing items, which I'm hoping to not have to dip into all of them Preferably not the, pretty much only humanity is what I'd like to use, but I don't see that happening. I'm not that good, and it's 4 kings, which is, ugh, for 25 hours. Yeah, Divine Blessings are going to be great, which is why I'm not sure. I think I want to use them at the start of the... maybe not at the start of the fight. I should use them intermittently throughout the fight, really, you know, depending on how much health I'm actually healing and whatnot, because they heal so fast. The other thing to note is how Elizabeth mushrooms work. Since it's 100 HP health, 100 HP regen per second, first of all, that's 17 seconds worth just to get back to full health, but then everything else is just bonus. And what, they last a minute, I think? So that's kind of time to go ham. The only thing is I'm worried I might go a little too hard with them and then just waste healing, you know what I mean? Trying to get extra hits in just because I have regen, but then giving up health because of that, stuff like that, but... we'll see. The only problem is now I actually have to get the items to this account. But which one, the Divine Blessings or the Elizabeth mushrooms? Oh, okay. Yeah, Divine Blessings are Divine Blessings are extremely powerful. The fact that they're an instant heal that take less time than Estus to use, a full heal, kind of makes them a little broken, but again, you're not really supposed to have more than 1 or 2 in the game. It's the item that's, you know, too good to use. What a hard habit that is to break, too, using items like that, or not wanting to use items like that, just because they're so good. Ooh, 5 combo. No, you get more than that. You get plenty. You can buy one, you can start with 2, or is it just 1? You can pick up like 3 in Lost Izalith. And there's more to pick up elsewhere, I'm pretty sure. How am I on humanities? I've only got twin humanities right now, so... I'm low on everything because of ONS. But I've got somebody that I should be able to get the items from. As far as I'm aware, at least. We'll see. Dude, 9-hit combo. Wonderful. That would also work. I'll see. I mean, you know Starman, Final Starman. Assuming he's not too busy, I'll ask him first. Oh yeah, it'll be good. I know in Fist Only I actually farmed everything by hand, quite literally. And that means the rats in the depths for humanities and stuff. No, no, well I can tell you it doesn't. But, even if it did... well no, technically not true. If it did, I could maybe hit for 2 damage. A great example of this is Gaping Dragon. Which is what I was about to say as a reason why it shouldn't, but... So Gaping Dragon's head is very unique in that it's not a critical zone like most others. It just takes 1.5 times damage. Sif's doesn't, but because of my AR, it gives me +7 damage, +7 AR on hit. Well, that sucks. Which comes out to 21 damage, which means I can hit for 2 damage on Gaping Dragon, and he's one of the only bosses without RTSR. I really want to equip a new item game. Oh, I'm not used to the menus. That should have... There we go. That's all I wanted to do, Sif. Alrighty. What are you thinking? Chip me away? Chip me to death? Thank ya. That was bad. So yeah, it was something like, actually only with RTSR as far as I'm aware, you can hit 2 damage outside of Gaping Dragon's Head. Though I guess with Gaping Dragon's Head, 1.5, so 2.25 times 1.4, God, I can't do math. Not like that in my head, not so fast. But anyway, you could get that amount of damage on Gaping Dragon's Head with the Talisman. Probably 3, if I had to bet. Actually 2.8 plus 1/4 of 1.4, which is, okay, 0.25, yeah, so it's just barely 3 damage. If you're hyper mode hitting Gaping Dragon's Head, you can hit for 3 damage. Truly amazing. Oh. Don't do it. God, I can only imagine trying to flawless Sif. I know I'm almost positive that you can position yourself perfectly to not take chip damage and stuff, but I have a feeling that it's gotta be like some sort of RNG, right? Could be wrong there, but... There we go. Nice. I wonder if you could get... Well, I know you can't, but if only you could get, like, instability damage on Gaping Dragon's Head. Then you might be able to hit 4 damage. Nice. Oh, you could have hit me there, Sif. Oh. Sif is not sitting still right now. There we go. Shows what little I know about the positioning on Sif for how stuff works. That's one of the biggest ones that I can tell is pretty much if and when they want to do their spin. Of course it's not like you can always read it, but it's so obvious. Alrighty. Do we know at what health Sif actually goes down to the weakened phase? I'm sure somebody knows the exact amount because the game's been data mined and whatnot plenty of times and whatnot, but I just know it's pretty low. Actually, that reminded me, this was something I meant to talk about earlier. Doing Talisman and Fist only really showed me some things that I don't think I ever would have learned fighting the bosses normally. At least, maybe without looking it up. How about that? But something like gargoyles is really something that sticks out on, just because of each gargoyle has 2 phases to it. Which is really weird to think about. Well, okay. The first gargoyle technically has 2 phases to it. The second one's too low on health for it to not be in phase 2 already. But it's weird because you could technically say it's like a 3-phase fight due to this, because its AI changes and how it reacts and whatnot. It's just very minor. The big thing is that it unlocks fire, which means it's just weird because it's the idea that I never expected that I would have to think about if I wanted to damage the first, or if I wanted to kill the first or second gargoyle first. Because I always assumed that it was whenever the second gargoyle dropped in, they both gained the ability to breathe fire. But that isn't the case. There's like 200 damage or 300 damage worth. Maybe just 200, because they get pretty low health. But about 200 damage worth, I'll say, where the first one still doesn't breathe fire while the second one does. And that's important to know, I guess. It makes a difference on how you'll want to be spacing in the fight, really. Oh. That's gonna hurt. Ouch. Yeah, gargoyles were a pain. Mainly because I was a lower level, so I wasn't nearly as bulky. No, that's actually why I'm doing this. I forgot to kill Sif before coming to 4 Kings, so I've got to kill Sif first. By the way, welcome, hero. I know it's been a while, but I plan on doing 4 Kings on Wednesday. Attempting 4 Kings on Wednesday, because it's... I don't know if I'll get them first try, you know? It's one of those things. I haven't even had a single attempt on them yet, so... It's weird, right? You could say that they're inherently unfair, but you do have a lot of stuff going in your favor in both cases of 2v1s, them and ONS. And, it's surprising how, at least outside of forcing yourself to use weapons like this, how powerful you can be against them. Especially when you look at something like speedruns, that really shows off the sort of power you're able to get by the time you fight them. But yeah, it's gonna be 5 Kings. Probably 5 Kings. 5 or 6 if I had to bet. So, when at risk, you lose... Well, what's 5 divided by 14? You lose that amount percentage of damage. And the thing is, the minimum damage you can do to an enemy is 1/10 the damage of your AR. And my AR is 14 with the talisman equipped. Well, the thing is, when it hits at risk, you drop down to 9, and the 1/10 is rounded down. And because of their defenses, I'm always going to be doing 1/10 damage. No, I didn't want to cast. Jesus, I meant to cast. I totally meant to do that. Whatever, game. So, rounded down, I do 0 damage, so I can't deal damage with an at-risk talisman. Yeah, max Kings is 4 at a time, but I'm going to kill at least one of them. Maybe 2. What a clean heal that was. The only cases, and this is why Gaping Dragon's so key, the only cases where you're not going to be dealing 0 damage with an at-risk talisman are Power Within, because 1.4 times 9 is greater than 1, is greater than 10. RTSR, Instability, so if something's mid-attack or something, or poise broken, you can get 1.4 times damage, I believe. So you should technically be able to hit for 1 damage there. Or if you're hitting Gaping Dragon's head, because he always takes 50% bonus damage there. How much damage would I do with RTSR? Because the Talisman has 14, it's actually at the perfect attack rating to hit 2 damage in RTSR range. If it were at 13, you round down, so 6.5 rounded down is... or, yeah, 13 divided by 2 is 6.5, rounded down is 6. Puts you at 19. Which means you'll still do 1 damage. Pretty interesting stuff. I actually didn't know until I started doing endurance runs that the minimum damage is 1/10 of what you have. So technically, if you could somehow get a lot of little chip damage, like somehow split damage across like 20 different splits, you could still do 20 damage. Even if you had 10 in each. It'd still be garbage. But hey. It's just weird how defenses work. Five. Nice. Fists are easier. Fists do 2 damage a hit without Armor of Thorns, Gloves of Thorns, Gauntlets, there we go. Gauntlets of Thorns. With Gauntlets they do 4 outside of jump attacks, and RTSR doesn't take the plus 20 damage into account. It's really weird how Gauntlets of Thorns interacts with stuff. But so fists are faster and deal at least double damage, and can't go to at risk, so you're immediately at a net positive there, even if it did 1 damage. Just not being able to go into at risk is wonderful. Granted, I've gotten back into the groove of swapping weapons, so it's a pretty minor inconvenience. Dang. But I like the little heel kick your character does when they swing the talisman. It's funny. Better than the fist. Well, okay. I mean, the fist moveset is actually one of my favorite movesets in the game, but it is quite the enjoyable animation. I will say also, one-handing the talisman is just so gross. This R2, it's terrible. Can't do pretty much anything with it. It's got horrible range. It's just bad. Nobody's done Talisman Only, so no. I have the farthest progress on Talisman Only at that. Most people, well, no, nobody else does this kind of run. I can actually just say that. No, if Sif clipped, no, I would not count that. I would redo the fight. No matter how close I got, even if I got them down to 165th health, I would redo the fight if they clipped through the floor at that last moment. And you can hold me to that. You will? Fair enough. It defeats the point, really, you know. It's like people mentioning that in ONS you can clip Ornstein through the floor in Phase 2. At that point, why cheese the fight? I'm already going to be doing the fight for, well, now I know, 9 hours. what's the point in challenging myself if I'm just not gonna do the fight? You know what I mean? I mean, I know at 165th health that's a little different, but I'm still gonna say I would still redo it, I'm saying, though. I might be a little annoyed if they clipped because who knows why. But that's about it. Oh yeah, Broken Straight Sword is, well, it might not be good damage. Yeah. It's a good place to start, that's for sure. If you want decently long fights that also require you to... Well, they require only one move. 10 Banishment Catalyst is one that I would recommend. I really do like that weapon. Like, melee only, of course. The thing is, unlike something like the Broken Straight Sword, you've got good range. What you've got to deal with there is the low attack speed and low damage. Whereas something like Broken Straight Sword has relative, I think, to the... Well, no, definitely. It has decent DPS compared to the 10 Banishment Catalyst, but you've not got... It's just a slight difference, but I prefer something like the 10 Banishment Catalyst. And yes, you could call me crazy. I would agree. To be fair, when I actually first started a fist only even, I was under the impression that all bosses were possible. Luckily I was right, but for a moment I had a bit of doubt because Moonlight Butterfly gets health regen. And it turns out anything weaker than fist only's DPS pretty much can't do Moonlight Butterfly. Like, this weapon can't do Moonlight Butterfly. It's just not possible. It's one of the few... No, not one of... It's the only boss in the game that's not possible with this weapon. And then maybe... I'm gonna say Four Kings are possible. The only reason why they wouldn't be possible is just because of how much of a strain it is on somebody, depending on how long it goes. Like, if I'm not able to average something like 5 hits per minute or something, at that point you're nearing a 48-hour long fight, which is not only not healthy, but I couldn't recommend that. You see, I mentioned that earlier during this stream. DS2 is kind of interesting about it because they have elemental damage and they don't have this kind of damage, you know? You could deal some damage. I've beaten DS2 quite a few times. Problem is I use bonfire ascetics a lot, and I think that's actually part of what makes me not like the game very much. As much as they're a really cool item and they're super resourceful, or useful and stuff, the more I use them, the more I dislike that playthrough by the end of it. I don't know. Though I must say, grinding to a really high level on the Giant Lord is pretty fun. Yeah. But when I did a playthrough without bonfire ascetics, I found myself just enjoying everything more. And maybe if they... I don't know. Life gems are kind of necessary to the game, it feels at times, but I wish they were rebalanced in some other way. NG Plus is kind of interesting because it changes a few fights. Too bad it generally changes fights for the worse. Such as, Flexile, and also Sinner. I don't like ads in my fights. Yeah, there's new item positions and stuff too. Actually, Harvest Valley is a great example. As soon as you reach Harvest Valley, if you've got bonfire ascetics, you can just ascetic that place because there's no boss in the first bonfire, and then you can just get 3 chunks every time you ascetic it. Ascetic, whatever. Which is really powerful. And it's stuff like that that just throws the balance out of whack, you know? Oh, a remake on, like, the Demon Souls is getting? I think that could help Scholar or DS2 a lot. Me? Yeah, I did. I did them separately. I didn't do them at the same time. So I did, like, I think I did No Bonfire first, and then I did No Death. Maybe the other way around. One of the... Anyway, I did them. They're pretty cool. Cool ideas, at least. I like that you get rewarded. I don't like seeing those rings in use, at least not in PvP. It's just annoying. You never wish a fight was harder? That's fair. Again, people have different tastes, so, like... Not everybody... Well, again, nobody really wants this kind of fight but me, so... So, yeah. There's just... It's a different kind of taste, really, is what it comes down to. Well, I got a question for you then. Would you, I get that. Oh, I mean, I also wish fights were better, too. Take a look at all of DS2. No, but, stuff like Gargoyles, hitboxes, a few things changed here and there. With a lot of bosses. Maybe reduce a screen shake by 10-fold on Centipede Demon. Oh, that would make my eyes not want to bleed. That'd be nice. Stuff like that, you know? Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, difficulty, I would agree, can ruin a game. I mean, if I didn't enjoy this, I wouldn't be doing this, right? But you'll never see me do something like... I don't know what... I mean, like, I don't know much about Fire Emblem, but, you know, Fire Emblem or a strategy RPG like that at some high difficulty, you would never see me doing that sort of thing. It's just not my style, and I think it would... Of the strategy RPGs I've played, XCOM, that is, I don't want high difficulty, I just want a nice grid-based combat system. It's that sort of thing, you know? So it really comes down to taste. Remove them or at least fix them up. You see, I really like, sorry, talking about Demon Runes and stuff. I really wish... What was I gonna say? I really like Bed of Chaos, there we go. So, yeah, I mean, you don't have to change that boss too much. I do wish, Ceaseless was a little different. I don't like the idea that he's just big number, walk to ledge, knock off. It's pretty boring, but it's an interesting gimmick at least. And I'd rather fight him like that than ever fight him normally just because of how bad his hitboxes are. He's one of the few bosses that he's the second fastest boss in terms of hits to kill. The first one, of course, being Bed of Chaos. Where he takes 6 and Bed of Chaos takes 1. 5 or 6, one of those two. You know, I would perfectly, honestly, for Dark Souls 1, I'd much rather have something like the remastered, at least maybe fix the bugs, honestly, but I'd much rather have something like the remaster than something with how they're doing Demon Souls, even if they do keep I just want Dark Souls to look better. I don't want it to change, really. I know that's crazy to say or sound here, something, you know, but Outside of a couple bad hitboxes, it's as good as it gets to me. Like, I know a lot of people have said something about, you know, wanting Dark Souls, but with Dark Souls 3's engine, or Dark Souls 3 speed, and how it plays and stuff, but I would never. So I'm perfectly fine with the remaster, honestly. It's exactly what I wanted. Which is funny to think, because the remaster got a ton of backlash, and rightfully so, when it first launched. You know, what really surprised me was, how much stamina rolling takes in, Dark Souls 3 and stuff. It's weird to compare the game's staminas, but I was watching something about that, yeah. It's crazy just how high the stamina consumption is in Dark Souls 2 is really what I'm getting at. Everything takes so much stamina. Oh, it feels so clunky to play that game. Maybe I'm just not good enough at it yet, though. I know, I think I need to. Yeah. Yeah, it was. But, yeah. I mean, how could you have not watched him? He's actually, funny enough, one of the few Dark Souls-related stuff I watch. Him, Distortion, just because he's amazing at running the game. Running some of the game's stuff. Actually, I like his other speedruns, really. Anyway, and Latovsky, but he doesn't do much Dark Souls, I think, really, anymore. I don't know, I haven't watched him in a long time. Outside of that, I don't really watch Dark Souls content. But even, like, attacking in Dark Souls 2 takes so much stamina. It's not even just rolling. Everything takes a lot of stamina. Okay, just don't roll. That works. I did not. I don't watch him, actually. I used to watch Lobos Jr., then I realized, he just does challenge runs, which is cool, but I don't know, I don't really like watching people play Dark Souls much. For as much as I enjoy the game. Speedruns are pretty much the only content of Dark Souls I watch outside of Limit Breakers. And his was just because he had cool data. Until he got really weird, which his stuff is still fun to watch, but man, has his stuff changed. Nice. I know, right? How could I ask you guys to watch me play it? Better than everybody else that streams or makes videos, definitely. You know me. No. If you guys watch anybody, watch anybody else from the Company of Champions Discord. Jesus, they are insane and they do really good stuff. You know, Latovsky is the one that I actually watched for enemy randomizer stuff. He would do, not enemy randomizer, actually item randomizer. He did item randomizers with, permadeath. And I thought that was really cool. Too bad I don't have a PC to really play Dark Souls on, or else I'd do something like that. Enemy randomizer, though, just seems way too hectic for my taste. It's not what I'm looking for. It's interesting to watch people that are worse at you than a game. It's, I guess that's why people backseat, though, because they're watching somebody that they think are, if not worse, they think they know better than them in the current situation, but... Yeah, I don't know, usually if I'm watching fighting games, it's generally people that are good at the game, which is better than me, so... I'm not a very good fighter. Decent at DBFC. Let's just reposition. Illusory wall. I don't know who illusory. I don't know what that is. I think this is a big one too. A lot of people watch the lore videos. Those are things I could never. I mean, I literally could watch them, but I never will. As much as I like Dark Souls, I don't play it for the lore. Or there was a... I don't remember his name. He would do no-clip stuff and show kind of out-of-bounds things for Dark Souls. I watched a couple of those videos. Those kinds of things are interesting. Seeing how things work behind the scenes. Oh, you'll try out advice? Don't take my advice in Sekiro, because all I say is deflect and don't use anything else. R1 and deflect. It might have been boundary break, I don't know. No, because he's got an actual... because the channel has an actual name on it. Like a person's name, I thought. I don't know. It has been forever since I watched anything about it. Did you guys ever see the thing that Meow Meritus made? The hitbox viewer and stuff. Or it allowed you to see hitboxes, you could do stuff with that. That was some pretty crazy stuff you could pull up. It really showed just how bad some things are. Oh. Let's see if it lets you post a link even. I don't know if it will. If not, then just mention me on Discord with it and I can check it out later. Or maybe I can pull up... No, Discord's pulled up already, so I could at least see what you're talking about. Nice one. Jesus. Sit still. Please. I never tried monk cheese. That one looked really cool to me, the idea of just stun locking it without it knowing that you're there. I thought that's a pretty cool idea. Really interesting that somebody figured that out. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I kinda am just telling it to sit, huh? I saw the Gyobu cheese. I never tried it myself. Honestly, a lot of the skips and stuff in Sekiro are pretty crazy. The whole speedrun, when it's actually a glitched speedrun of that game, is really weird. There's so much to it. The whole swimming through nothingness and whatnot is... You never beat Sekiro? I'd recommend... I mean, if you think it's too hard, then... Well, I'd say still give it a shot, but... But, there is quite a bit of hard stuff in it, I would say, yeah. Mainly the final boss. Final boss took me 20 tries on my first playthrough, which is... pretty high relative to everything else, I think. Most bosses took me only a few. So he's pretty tough, and I've heard of people having hundreds of attempts on him, so... And Father Owl is another one that I hear about, which... God, I love that fight. I don't care how tough it is, it's just wonderful. Oh, that didn't hit me. Jesus. Yeah, Phase 2, because as soon as you hit Phase 3 you get lightning counters, and in Phase 1 he's not aggressive enough. His moveset's very clean and easy to read. Once the storm picks up and whatnot, it's a little harder. And then, Genichiro in Phase 1 of that fight is just a pushover because you fought him so much. Lightning makes such a big difference there. Oh god, you were probably at dual monkeys, if not singular monkey. Twin monkeys is a pain. As simple as that. But I think you can skip them if you order yourself correctly or something. Snake Eyes is deceptively difficult too. They're so weird to me. Like, of all the mini bosses, I'd say they're one of the hardest. It's something about their moveset. It just feels so offbeat to me. I don't know. That's so good. I'm glad you can skip Ape, because I don't care about 100% completion. I just want the Father Owl fight. Cool. I want to say... No, yeah, I did it in my first playthrough. Yeah, because you have to do Guardian Ape first for that to happen, right? There's so much for me to do in all these games. I gotta return to Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne and Sekiro. I gotta go back to every FromSoft game, apparently. I guess I'll never be done with them. Oh. That's right, it leads to Mibu Village. I remember getting pretty lost in that game. Also, I would be perfectly okay if they just cut out all of Fountainhead. I don't care. I mean, even if the area is fine itself. I don't like the water section. It's garbage. Probably because... Why did I heal? Why did I heal there? I had no reason to heal, let alone... I wasn't even safe to heal, as you saw. Just a waste of a heal. What a whiff. There we go. I want to say, didn't they already show that it's still broken or something? Something like that. I would just have a feeling that they wouldn't. I don't know why. Maybe because it just isn't a thing already. Like, I know that there were lost assets from it, but I don't know if it was fleshed out enough for them to really do it. Oh, it is restored. I thought it was broken in the trailer. I must have completely misheard that then. That'd be interesting. Depending depending on how much they change the base bosses, it would make me curious how if it is in the game, the new Archstone, how different that kind of boss would be. God, we're almost done, guys. We're down to like almost the last 3/13ths. We're under 16 65ths left. I wonder how close I am to getting to 3 hours. That's gotta be getting there. Please, don't do that attack over and over. Thank you. I'm thinking, since you bring it up, yeah, somewhere around the 20th is when I plan on actually starting the build, so probably that day, or no, you said like 18th or something is when you're free, technically? That weekend? I'm definitely down to do it that weekend. Because really all we have to do is beat 4 kings. Everything else I'm gonna do on my own, so... I don't know how much I'll actually be participating in the event, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm the one, by the way, coding everything for it, so if it doesn't go well, blame me. But I think it'll be good. Really, the two big things are the trick-or-treating. I've already got set up, actually. I still got to build. We're going to have leaderboards for them, and we're going to be giving out roles based on who does the most tricks and who does the most treats. So the thing is, it's completely random. So you guys aren't really... It's just going to be whoever, pretty much whoever participates the most will get one of these 2 roles. And then, as far as I'm aware... Treating can be anything from giving items to helping somebody with a summon or anything, so as long as you're doing something good in the game, then you're gonna be able to complete that sort of task, you know? And then tricks is just invading. So really it's kinda gonna be a hybrid thing where you're not gonna choose whether you do invasions or co-op, you're gonna do a mix of both. Which might be a bit of a put off, I know, but exactly. I think it would be wonderful for DS3's mountain makers if we were a DS3 community. It'd be great for that. But I think overall people are going to enjoy it. As for the costume contest, that's a little weird. I'm not totally sure what I'm assuming it's just going to be roles for that as well. I don't know how much people want me to say, but I'm just gonna talk about it, who cares? We had discussed, I know that you had mentioned the whole mods thing being a put-off for the other game thing, but the way that I see it, and Silent was kind of with you on this, he said, you know, it definitely is an advantage, but it's weird because everybody's got their own advantages in that costume contest, because whether it come down to if you're using mods or not, people are going to have access to different games from others. So the kind of costumes that you can build is going to be very different based on who's submitting. So I don't see a way to really balance that. Anyway, the Dark Souls one is at least going to be balanced because it's all just from Dark Souls. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen. And that's the other thing, so like, of course, since it's just a server-wide event thing, we're not going to be able to really check if you're following the rules. So, don't break the rules, but it's not like we can stop you. And that's not me saying do it subliminally, I'm just pointing that out because it's true. That's gonna hurt. Yep. Ooh, 3 of those. If another game... Would the community adapt for that? Or would they stay... You know, that's a really good question. I don't think that's been discussed. I would personally prefer to adapt. Like, say they added Dark Souls 2 to Switch for some godforsaken reason. Don't get me wrong, I'd still buy it instantly, whatnot, but I would think that we should adapt to that and, you know, welcome the people. But I don't see why not, really. Oh, I was talking about in the event. You can cheat all you want, we can't really stop you, except for the fact if we get air of it, we're gonna just disqualify you. But yeah, I would much rather turn the server into a 2-game server rather than build another server. Which is funny that I say that, but whatever. Oh, that was a good combo. I'm just looking straight at chat, not actually looking at the boss. Jeez, this is how I die. Honestly, of all the things, well, personally, I don't deal with invading at all because I play offline, but if I want to be doing a co-op run, I don't want to be getting invaded, and I know that's whatever, but it definitely does, especially with the kind of invaders in something like Dark Souls 3-2, what? No, especially in something like Dark Souls 3, with the way that invasions are balanced. If you're co-oping with your friends, you're more than likely going to be finding an invader, as long as you're spending a decent amount of time in each area. And with how invasions are balanced, invaders are way more incentivized to not fight head-on, and that just really drags from the area. At least that's how I find it. I would much rather be left alone in peace with my buds than having to deal with some sort of babysitting, watching my back the entire time, making sure somebody's not going to sneak out and backstab me. I also just don't like randomness, though, a lot of the time, so that's probably why. Nice. I did not, honestly. I assumed that they were only for Fair and Keep and Road of Sacrifices, which will from now on be called Crucifixion Woods by me. Oh, I wasn't looking. I was just reading. Oh, that's not a good position. It worked out, though. Because Sif is being awkward. You know, even if Dark Souls Remaster isn't very active, I would rather have no chance of an invader. But that's just me. I know... I don't know, because if I'm playing online without my friends, I'm expecting... I'm playing because I want to be invaded, if anything. I have no other reason. I mean, you'll never see me play online, because I never want to be invaded. But, if I am, I'm expecting to be invaded, and that's why I'm doing it, but... in a co-op sense, I don't want to see it. Please, Sif. We gotta be getting close to phase 3, right? Phase 2? God. Too bad, even still, though. I wonder if they changed that. I could have sworn that wasn't always the case, but I guess I could be wrong. Too bad it still doesn't matter, though. I really hate how they did Covenant items in Dark Souls 2 and 3. Oh, I like the feature. I would rather have it in the game than not. But I don't want to see it while co-oping. It's weird. We would lose out so much if it didn't exist. Well, okay, if PvP still existed, maybe not as much, but we probably wouldn't lose out as much, but we would still definitely lose part of the community, and that would be not always necessarily a bad thing, but I wouldn't want to see it go. It would really reshape how everything... Anyway. I also... just looked away, by the way, I was reading the thing you were just saying. I also don't like DS3's invasion system where it favors groups and whatnot. I also don't like how they did Covenant items because they're so rare. It's like they were trying to encourage you to do online stuff by making the Covenant items rare, but that doesn't account for the idea that not everybody's going to have access to online, want to do online, or that the servers are still live enough for there to be online, which I'm sure there's still plenty of people playing PvP in Dark Souls 3, but still. Is that a falchion I just passed on the ground? It is! Look at that. And that's my big problem with it. For how many enemies are in the game, the Covenant drop rate is still really low. Probably, I think it's around 1%. Yeah, I think that's a big thing too, though, with the way that invading works, the way that you can invade lower level people and stuff. Just giving out items, but also maybe messing with them and stuff. It's a really unique dynamic that or that you miss out on, really, if you don't play online. But that's crazy to me. I'm surprised that Dark Souls 2 is still active sometimes, but I'm glad it is. It's just so awkward at times. Even in PvP, though, the PvP is pretty alright. I used to be big into the PvP in all the games, though. Definitely not anymore, I can tell you that much. I'm just looking away, I'm not even paying attention to Sif. I'm just getting cut up. Probably, what, 2 more talismans, maybe? Yeah, wow. She actually just stood there and let me do that, like, straight up. Didn't even do anything. I definitely think it's something you should experience before just saying no to it, but I've had plenty of experience with it. But again, there are also people that know they don't like online games, so... No, I won't die. Please. If I die anyway, I'll just do it again tomorrow. Or something like that, you know. So I'd say probably 40 minutes, 50 minutes left in this fight. Jesus. Crypto was really good at PvP, wasn't he? I never actually got to fight him. Nor do I really care to have fought him, but it would have been cool, I guess. I heard he was quite good with that crystal dagger. I used to think PvP was fun. You don't gotta stick around, but at least, if anything, stick around to see Phase 2, I guess. And then once you realize, wow, that's pretty boring still, leave. Though I guess that might speed things up. It could be closer to 30 minutes depending on how aggressive I can be in Phase 2. Because she really doesn't hop around at all, right? Oh, looking away. Stuff's happening. It's weird. Like, and the idea that a lot of it isn't how it was intended, it seems. You could say it's broken, but how it actually plays out is surprising. It's pretty crazy, the PvP. It takes some mad skill to really be good at it. Mad skill, jeez. Estus canceling. I'm not even sure what you mean by Estus canceling. It's not all exploits, but exploits do actually have a part in it, and that's definitely not a bad thing. It's just not my cup of tea. And it's fewer exploits in Dark Souls 3 at least. Dark Souls 2 is weird. It has some really cool exploits. Like the only one that I know being the swapping from two-handing to one-handing mid-combo. I don't really know of like any exploits in Dark Souls 3. Well, no, sorry. Bow. I forgot about the bow glitch. That was a thing, wasn't it? And a lot of people weren't happy with that, were they? Yeah. I think the bow thing was actually kind of bad, right? It was just a lot of animation canceling. Which I guess speeds up the combat, but maybe not in the way that people wanted. I don't know. It isn't even used. Nice. That's cool. What about, and this one isn't used, I know it isn't, but Sacred Flame? That was a glitch. It was an exploit that, like, cheeky people tried to use. It wasn't really a PvP viable thing. I don't even know if that got patched. But that was another one. And then you've also got the Lothric Banner, Handmaid's Dagger, FP regen. But again, that one wasn't really used and it was patched. I don't think it was really used. Toggling is wonderful. That's all I can say. It's canceling stagger animations by the swapping of weapons. A similar effect can be done by rolling out of fall damage. Oh, Dark Souls 3, never mind. I don't know about toggling in Dark Souls 3. Calm down there, Sif. Those are the only ones that I knew of, though, like those three. Bow, Sacred Flame, and Handmaid's Dagger FP. Desync is weird because it only applies to, like, I don't know. Do a lot of people use desync? Because isn't that only for Crystal Homing Soul Mass and Pursuers? I guess this is really testing my PvP knowledge, which is next to zero, so. So I guess it gives you the advantage on anybody invading, but like, outside of that, does it have uses? I mean, even summoning, you can desync on them. Sorry, I saw desync mentioned, and so I'm just focusing on that. To be immune to backstabs? Weird. Nah, spin to win was never really a viable tactic. It's too punishable. You can backstab it in like... you can backstab it in every game. Or parry it. But I don't know about parrying and online. That's always iffy. I do remember the only PvP experience that really sticks out to me anymore was a little bit in Dark Souls 3. I got a one-shot once with a Great Lance, and that was beautiful. That's actually another weapon that I really like. It's the Great Lance. As bad as it is, I love it. I remember we're in early into DS3, Gundir's Halberd was thought to be insane because of that charge attack, and then people found out it's really easy to parry, even with latency and whatnot. Do the Knight's Axes even work with that? Man, the Pirates versus Knights event, I barely participated in that one. No, they've got really good strength scaling. And they combo, don't they? Like, you can combo into some of their attacks, and they have pretty good damage. I thought they were good. Like, not amazing, but not bottom tier. Or a Dranghammer's one I'm thinking of, because they have the weapon art that's actually usable. The combo weapon art, yeah. Oh, we've got to be so close to phase 2. Jesus. Goddard's twin swords were weird because... Are they the only paired straight swords? But their roll attack was thought to be extremely good. Except that you could tell that every time somebody was using them and rolled, you could tell that that's what they were going for. Well, those are curved swords, at least, but yeah. Yeah, I saw that. That was kind of weird to me, that people really... I guess I was even going to help her at one point, but... I don't even remember if I actually did any co-op with her, but... There was a lot of favoritism in that one. To be fair, we also had, wasn't that the one where our mod was, Tarm? Is that his name? We banned him, Zoda. There we go. And he won on the other side, which is pretty hilarious. Yeah. Isn't that something? I still find it funny how upset people were about that. That we banned him. Really? Perseverance and a thrust attack? That's all it's got. I guess that's alright, but I want to say you could just play pretty defensively to outplay it. I mean, I guess that's all you do in Dark Souls 3 anyway, but... In the left hand, really? Never used it there. Well, to be fair, I've never really used it. It's pretty surprising. I do have to say it's kind of funny. Emery really did call that, though. That was a bad choice. Anyway. It's good for him that he was behaving and whatnot, but... That's about as far as I can go on that. It doesn't change my opinion. The only halberd I like anyway is the Wing Knight halberd, because it looks cool and strength. Exactly. Isn't that interesting? And then the other thing was, one thing that I've heard. So, okay, I've still gotta. There's so much I don't understand about the PvP community. Not that you guys know, really. Oh, I think we changed. No, we didn't. But man, I should look back and see what they said about Zoda and how he became mod. Well, there was enough when everybody started saying unban him. No, but the fact that a mod from another server knows exactly who you are should be a pretty... I would take that as a good sign. I know, right? I would think that they'd be in phase 2 by now. What, Maiden brought them up as being Tarm, and Maiden is a mod for the Demon Souls community and is well known in the Dark Souls community. As far as I'm aware, I think they're well known. So, and they were the one that outed him. I thought. Which is really funny because we had just gotten word that Maiden had joined the community, and there were some people saying that they caused trouble, which is... Isn't that interesting? Anyway, drama. Who loves it? Yeah, he was. The thing is, he's just I don't know. I don't know if I should say any more on the subject, but whatever. One second, I'm trying to read chat, but I'm a little focused. Let's see. To be fair, if what I'm saying gets put anywhere, that's fine. I have it here anyway, so I'll back it up. I said it. But yeah, he was, he definitely was. You could say he was toxic, but just such a word that's thrown around. But he was, he didn't quite follow the rules before he was banned, which is why he got banned. And by being banned, you probably shouldn't evade your ban by becoming a mod on our server. It's not going to go over well for you once we find out, and that's about all I can say, really. You know, I don't use Reddit, really. I've used it for two things. No, one thing, really. I posted that I beat the game fist only. And that was it. Yeah, there's not much to say. He was just abrasive, and so it kind of led to his ban. Abrasive and didn't follow the rules. But I think it's just that he's young, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. Never did play League. I only ever played technically 2 MOBAs, because I did play Smite, but the only other one I played got cancelled because of Fortnite. And I'll always bring it up. I know, right? I thought that they would have been by now. Hey, I guess we can figure out how much health they need for it. 1/13 of 3423 plus 2/65 of that. Or I guess 7/65 would be the easier way to put it. It's somewhere around there. Or they might even limp at 1 bar, I guess. By the way, well, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate that, like, I know a lot of people were... Or, there were a couple people that weren't very happy with the people that became mods in the last 2 times they became mods. Well, one being Tails, but Tails is gone. Really makes me wonder about him, but what can you do? And then I know you've got, Odachi as a mod. There were a lot of people that weren't totally happy with her. Well, so let's see. Starman became mod Zoda. Is that everybody from this last group? God dang, Sif. You don't want to limp at all. That's good. You know, we don't hear a lot from the mods besides, like, there's not a lot of modding going on in the community. Moderation, there we go, that's what I'm looking for. In the community at all, which is funny. And for the most part, it's only 1 or 2 of us, which I think this is how it was beforehand, too, from what I've heard from Emery. It's kind of weird, for how many mods we have in that server. We probably don't need that many. But I'll take it. I can't do much about that. Yeah, we've talked with her about that before, actually. Especially early on, there was this really bad event that happened in the server that they were specifically targeting her, which is just terrible. And so we basically had to tell her, just ignore them, we'll deal with this completely. You don't need to just, I don't know. Oh, look at that. Okay, so 6.5. What is 6.5/65? Or I guess 13 1/30ths of 40 or 3423. Ah, I've been hit. 334? Alright. That sounds good. 0.57, so 335. Hot dogs. That sounds about right. We'll go with that sounds about right. I don't know, I think most of the mods are pretty good, but a lot of them don't do much because there's just not much to do, you could say. Though I guess we could always change stuff on the server. Just a lot of stuff works as is. I'm just not even looking at the screen. It's gonna get me killed because I'm not... God, they're weirdly hard to hit here. There we go. Why do people not like Odachi? Sorry, I just saw that. I'm not totally sure, honestly. I don't know what she did. All that I know, it seemed like people were coming from Yomi, but I swear that's just like a ghost server that people throw around. I know I'm pretty sure it's not like it actually exists, but man, do people throw it around like it's some sort of phantom curse on the Dark Souls community. You'd have to apply next time, but who knows when next time will be, honestly. It don't happen very often. Oh, what did I say? 2 more talismans, or 3 more or something. Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize she did such reduced damage at this point. If she did full damage, this might actually be a little dangerous. Because, how do you dodge? I don't know how to dodge anymore, I guess. Just wait until I die here, it's okay. Oh, nice. I feel like we should drop the subject just because I don't know what to say, because if I say something, who knows who's gonna hear it, and not that I really care who hears it, but whatever. I don't know much about Odachi, really. She seems pretty cool, for the most part. Okay, yeah, we're definitely able to get more damage off here. She's really looking forward for this event, though. The problem is, we don't really have any strict rules against age. The only rule against age that we have is that you have to be within Discord's terms of service age, which is 13. And seeing as we can't exactly age check people, unless word gets out about it, we can't do anything about it. And I'm not ever gonna hunt somebody down on their age, really. Not on that server. I know, she's hit me quite a few times, honestly. Yeah, just don't go around saying you're 12, because I will ban you for that. Straight up, I don't care what the mod team says. That's against Discord terms of service, and that's good enough for me. And of course, then you get the argument, who cares about that terms of service, but clearly me. Yeah, I honestly wish we could enforce it. Some sort of age limit, but then coming with an age limit also comes with other responsibilities to the server that could only end in our demise if we fail them. Wow, that just shoved me right out from underneath her, huh? Phase 2 Sif is, I've gotten hit quite a few times. She's weak, but her hitboxes are awkward. Oh, sorry, yeah, what server? It's Dark Souls, the Switch Discord server. Which actually, oh, this is great. Nobody else knows this because we kind of kept it a secret. Not really on purpose. I just didn't make an announcement about it, but Barrick from the Dark Souls Discord, the main server, the one that's actually partnered with Discord and whatnot, approached about putting something about our server on their server, so if you're seeing a lot of new people, that's why. God. The hitboxes are, the way that she moves in this phase is really awkward. Look at that. Well, Jergy was already a mod. He stepped down. As for left foot, I can understand why people want somebody from the PvP community being a mod, but God, look at the way that she moves. He is a really cool guy. I will agree. Barrick is, that is. Yeah, he doesn't want to be a mod anymore as far as I'm aware. He's a goose now, so. God, look at, I don't know this phase at all. The way that she moves. I guess I should just not go ham. I wonder how many, have I used 2 humanities here? No, I'm actually with you on that one, by the way. I would say we have too many mods. Especially since 90% of them, almost no joke, do nothing. But, again, if they need to do something, they'll do something. That's the thing, though, is if we have a need for them. Oh, we get that attack. How sad. As I say in a lifeless voice. That was actually one of the big reasons why, and I know you said this isn't why you care about Left being part of it, but I think that's one of the reasons why they picked Zoda in the first place, is because he was in the PvP community. It's funny because Odachi might seem like it right now, but she's just been helping with the event. Though she does stuff outside of that. She's been moderating too, but most of the time it's been me. Well, okay, she deletes posts and stuff without telling other people. She just doesn't make posts in the mod chat or anything about it. I just happen to look at the audit logs and whatnot, so. But besides that, it's mostly me making stuff in the actual moderation side. I'm sure this is all super exciting stuff for you to listen to, but yeah. Isn't it weird? I don't know. I don't have anybody to talk to this about it normally, so I guess I thought I might as well talk here, it seems. It happened to be brought up, so I just talked about it. We're just gonna heal again. Actually, this is a perfect time to take another sip of water. Wonderful. I will say though, man, has that new bot that I found or have been using been wonderful. I get the Velka's down in that server, but it does a great job at most things that Velka did, it seems. But I don't know what all Velka did, so. Anyway. Hey, at least the fight's almost over. I'm probably gonna call it after this. The thing just happens to be that, the reason why I've kept on the topic too is just because there's a few people from the server in here, and they're pretty active, so they at least somewhat knew about stuff, so I thought I'd tell them more. But I'm sure they don't care. You wish you had a chat like mine? Hey, this is one of the most active chats I've had ever. Or it might be the most active chat I've had. Granted, I don't ever usually pool even like 2 people watching simultaneously, so. It's nice. I actually really like seeing just the chat scroll by, even if I can't read all of it. I try to read as much as I can, but yeah, I mean, I haven't played Dark Souls on the Switch in about a year, and I'm a mod on that server, so go for it. You're not missing much on that server, though, I will say. If you can't find a link to it, just mention me or something, I can get you a link. Yeah, surprisingly, it's a lot of generic talk about anything Soulsborne related. Funny enough, yes, there is a challenge run channel. I was crucial in getting that to happen, funny enough, I would say. I don't know if I actually had the biggest influence on it, but I would say so. Too bad nobody posts in it. Like, I discuss a few things, but turns out most people aren't interested. Alrighty, Sif. Now's your chance to kill me. Take me out. Yes, you did. I thought that was a really cool idea, by the way, the getting everybody to Firelink. Did you kill them afterwards? Were you the one that killed them after you got everybody to Firelink? Oh, you see, I didn't even realize there was some sort of rock god in Smite. I should have played them. But, I played Muzen Cobb, the bee guy with honey. He was fun. It was a game that I got into for a very short amount of time. But man, if Silent or somebody ever wanted to play it again, I would have to re-download it, but I'd go for it. By the way, the other game that the only other MOBA that I played... Wow. Please don't actually kill me. But, the other MOBA that I ever actually played was, it was called Paragon. If you haven't heard of it, that's because it died back when Fortnite started getting popular, because it was done by Epic. But it started near the same time when Fortnite Saved the Earth, I think is what it was called. Fortnite whatever zombies mode started. But once they realized that the Fortnite Battle Royale was getting popular, they shut that thing down. Because they couldn't afford it, they said. Which is hilarious. Come on. You're so close, Sif. Oh my god. The way that Sif moves you while they are in this phase, I swear, I think I've gotten hit... Well, I've gotten hit way too many times on this phase. Has it? What? How did I not hear about this? Clearly I didn't pay much attention after they said it was dead. Tsukuyomi. That's gonna be cool. I'm not big into MOBAs though, honestly. As much as I love Paragon, it was partially just because I had a large group of friends that played it. Well, a group of 4 friends, really. But man, was it fun. Oh! Let's go. It's been done. Get that covetous silver servant ring on. We need that, what, 48k? Yeah, we definitely need that 48k. Jesus. Oh, alrighty. Well, now that that's done, let's homeward bone and let's get out of here. Ignore that Soul of Artorias, some other guy gave me that. Oh, it's finally done. Look at that, sub 4 hours. Wonderful. Can I get a good time on how long it was? 3 hours and 40 minutes. Alrighty. Wonderful. 3 hours and 40 minutes for that fight. That's a little higher than I expected, but still better than my worst prediction. So, oh, victory stretch. I think I'm gonna end it there. I thought about practicing 4 Kings, but no. It's 2 a.m. Do I want more health or more stamina? I want to go to 20 and 50 because those are nice numbers. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for sitting through that, I'm sure, wonderful talk about gossip. Anyway, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. We'll get back to 4 Kings on Wednesday, hopefully. See you then. Could the